where to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. That's including the ice wall, baby. Mama said there'll be days literally just like this. Artemis, let's get it. Run from it. Destiny.
Destiny arrives all the same.
And now
it's here.
or should I say?
I am.
Come on, baby. Here's the room fill up. Be sure to hit that like button, share this content, let that friend, that neighbor know where to go. Come on, baby. Stand tall or not at all. Loving you is easy 'cause you're beautiful. Do-do-do-do. Pull a string and I wink at you. Come on, baby. They never will be. Come on, baby. What is your profession? Riggs! I can't take this no more, Riggs. HBU me, the longest intro in the land. Come on, baby. Hit that like button. Sharing is caring. Come on, man. What y'all doing? The like button is right there. Come on, man. Ace Boogie! I see you, Brandy. Darrell, not Revis, but I see you. Or you are Revis. David Wood. Come on, baby. Yeah. 3, 2, and what? All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Appreciate everybody, man. The name is Law Nation. Without hesitations nor deviations to the matter, Cowboys, Stephen Jones talked about the aspect that nobody is calling. Nobody is. Wait a minute, where my thing at? Where that song at that everybody? Yeah, you hear me? Yeah. Come on, man. All right.
Ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved?
Come on, George Pickens. Ain't nobody.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still
them boys? Is he still them boys?
Y'all
Y'all used to check on George Pickens. Come on.
I'm still involved.
Come on, choir.
No days off.
I'm still them boys. Come on, man. Hey, I'm still.
Them boys.
Oh, look at my African American over here.
I'm still.
Come on, man. Where they at?
I'm still them boys.
Where they at, man? Why they ain't calling Jerry, man? Why they ain't calling David Mulageta? What's going to call and check on him? Come on, Brandon, hit that note. Come on, DP, hit them notes. Hit them notes. Come on, David Woods. Come on. But we still them boys over here.
Now y'all don't want to call and check on the
Now they want to call and check on GP. Come on, man. No calls.
I'm still.
Y'all still them boys, man. Put still them boys in the chat, man. Yeah, it's kind of weird that nobody's giving him a call. Do y'all think that David Mulageta? Now, here's what a bird told me. A bird told me that teams are pretty much fed up with David and his tactics, and that they might try to do like a collective thing to slow him down just a little bit, some of these owners, because they sitting here saying that they tired of this brother taking us to the woodshed. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, look at my African American over here.
Okay, hey, wait a minute, Trump. Hey, that's kind of like borderline. Now, hold on. But they are literally saying that that they don't like the way he operates, basically. And if we can shun him somehow, sully him, denigrate him to a degree, then we can do that, right? But as a business cycle, I get it. David, he's always got the interest of, hey, how can I secure the biggest bag for my client? Because the NFL stands for not for long, and that's just for what it is, unfortunately. But it's a two-way street, right? You got to be able to pick up the phone and have the conversation. So let me ask you guys, by it being that nobody's willing to pick up the phone for a GP, do they have too much do they have too much dip on the chip for that? But what about Kirk Cousins' agent? I mean, if you're in the era of the quarterbacks, man, the era of the quarterbacks is quarterback's going to always get the first of the first, because the quarterback, they get all of the credit. Brad Johnson got him a ring. 30 years from now, people forget anybody and everybody on that doggone team. Nick Foles got a ring. Trent Dilfer got a ring, So people going to always remember them opposed to the other 53 people or 52 people on the roster. That's unfortunately. But shout out to Kirk Cousins. Kirk is I think the second highest paid quarterback of all time. Kirk Cousins, right? So it's crazy. Prosecutors, this is Toxic Tom, prosecutors hate good defensive lawyers. The defense lawyer. Yeah, you're right. Scandalize his name, man. It is for what it is. So with that being said, when you are a high commodity or a premium guy, you will overlook a lot of things, right? There's people right now that's probably dating IG models, and they overlook that she can't fry an egg, right? That she burned a toast, right? Some people, or supermodel, not just IG models, right? There's some people that will overlook a few flaws, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's so they can get, like it's too early. But there are a few people that will overlook a few things. And just so I can be fair and balanced, there are a few ladies that will overlook a man with missing teeth, right, with crazy eyes or what have you, and if long as he got money, right, long as the yin yang twins to the window to the wall, there are plenty of women that overlook their facial features and figurements because they had money, right? So when you are good in a certain department, there will be people that will overlook a certain thing, right? So with GP, if he is as advertised as being a true number one wide receiver, there will be people that will overlook, hey, you know what? We overlook the fact that he is late for meetings, right? Because I know for sure that the people that's watching right now, if I were to tell you, would you rather have an on-time Jalen Tolbert here, right, or Jalen Brooks, if they were on time for meeting, right, or would you rather have a late George Pickens, right? Pick your poison. And there's a lot of people say, man, give me that late to meeting George Pickens, right? And there's organizations that will covet and protect said player because they know for sure the value, that they don't want to make this player disgruntled. They don't want to make this player mad and upset. So they will not report everything to the media because they want to keep that in-house, right? There are some people that will say, hey, what happened in his house stays in his house, right? Yeah. So the whole thing is with the Cowboys is that they don't overlook those type of things because Toxic Tom would tell you, they like to look at the money in the headlines for your mind to stretch this out because they look at it, whether it's positive news or negative news. It's the Cowboys news, and we got our names in the paper. Well, they don't do paper anymore. Well, maybe some small sectors in the United States that still give newspapers out. But as long as their names are in the headlines on IG, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, on X app, or on OnlyFans, it doesn't matter. As long as you got the Cowboys name in your mouth, that they will rather have that opposed to saying, hey, I know that George Pickens is coming up for a contract. Let's not leak out that he be late for meetings. Let's not leak out the small reservations that we have far as him quitting on routes and how we feel about that, right? That means that you would try to covet and protect said asset that you know for sure that's going to benefit you down the fray or down the straight or down the way. You get what I'm saying? So, yes, I need an on-time Pickens. This is from Doug. Yes, indeed. Cowboys are drafting Mesidor and McCoy. This is from Raw Talk 23. Hey, I know not in that order, though, right? It's McCoy, then Mesidor. Here's my thought track on Mesidor. He'll be our second oldest defensive player on the team. I just play with you. Nah. But Mesidor would probably fit right on in. But my thing is, you don't have to burn your 20th pick for that, right? If you're going to want to draft Mesidor, just be trade back game. You know what I'm saying? Just don't pick him straight up at 20. Shoot. Yes, indeed. We need GP3. This is from Gonzalez. Yes, we do. No way in hell I would take a discount from a billionaire. And Toxic Tom is right. You know, sheesh. Like, hey, man, let me get 10% off on this deal. Like, no, man, shoot. But that's how they became billionaires, right? They swindle a lot of things, and behind every billionaire, there's somebody that got the raw end of the stick, if I can say that precisely. And you know, you guys know what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of blood money out there, man. There's a lot of things that sacrificed in order for you to get that. Not to beat the Cowboys up, but come on, man. You know, even Jerry Jones said, hey, I tried to make a deal with the mob, man, to get this thing going. Who is to say he didn't? You know? But this is Stephen Jones on the aspect that no team has been calling him. Now, this is still the Lion season, because they could be sitting there saying no teams have called, and there should be like 15 to 20 teams that's sitting there saying, hell, when I call, it goes straight to voicemail, man. What's going on? Y'all not picking up, you know? So it's a two-way street, you know, and that could be the situation in scenario, right? That could be. And let me click over to this. I'm going to give credit to 105.3 The Fan on capturing this audio and this moment with Stephen Jones.
As I know you said it'll heat up a lot last week. Can you confirm or deny if you guys have gotten any calls for first-round pick offers for George Pickens thus far?
Yeah, you know, you hate to get into things like that, but no, we've had no one call, you know, with interest in George Pickens.
Have you guys? I know you.
The dude said no one called. Hey, ain't nobody calling him. Now, maybe the asking price is too high for what David Mulugeta camp is, and what they have wagered on that franchise tag. Is it 2 firsts? Is it the first and the third? I don't know. What type of wager do they have on that franchise tag? I know it's $28 million for us, but what type of tender do the Cowboys got on George Pickens? Can somebody help me out so that we can make sure that we are talking accurately about this? Because there will be a dog whistle, cat howling, or however they call it, if, regardless of how you say it, I know for sure, even someone with a troubled past, right? Even someone that got a checkered past, and I'm only going to use this as an analogy. And my apologies for any ladies to get this misconstrued. I'm not trying to beat up the women. But as much as allegedly Kim Kardashian been out there, right? If you were to take her and walk her down the street, we got a super chat, and we're going to pause, and I'm going to come back to that. Come on, man. That's my guy for the 903.
At
Over the 901, I'm going to say.
$9,981.10. Shout Law Nation. Shout Memphis. Don't understand why all Cowboys players do team-friendly deals. Cowboys organization is global brand. That off-the-field money is life-changing. Big
money picture. Yes, indeed. Hey, believe it or not, from the 901, I've read that. I heard that in your voice, man. Let me know in the chat, did you guys pretty much hear that in his voice? Shout out Law Nation, shout out Memphis, you know what I'm saying? So I feel you on that. The Cowboys team-friendly deals is basically is like the Cowboys hiring me and saying, hey, man, since you got your YouTube channel, man, your Facebook, man, we going to only give you $25 a day, you know. But come on, man, you already famous. You already got this and that. And I'm sitting here like, nah, man, Jerry, break me off some of that money, man. Give me some of that media money. But truth be said, Cowboys don't really pay them boys. Oops, I said it out too loud. You know what I'm saying? So it is for what it is. The Cowboys, they love those team-friendly deals. They love offering those type of situations, right? And it is very beneficial. Like, I'm thinking if you look back at it, even Jalen Smith still getting deals done with Jerry, right? Because he formerly played with the Cowboys, and that opened up any business ventures and stuff like that down the stretch, which is cool. I'm quite sure 10 to 15 years from now, Parsons could still weeble wobble back in Dallas and say, hey, former Cowboy was drafted in the first round in 2021, and he led all rookies defense and stuff like that. And people will still be lying longer than Jay Leno's chin to get an autograph, right? So that's just how that goes, unfortunately. Like the damn Terrell Owens, is he known more for the Cowboys or for the 49ers or Eagles or Bills, right? People going to forever remember Terrell Owens, T.O. That's my quarterback, man. They're going to remember him more for the Cowboys than anything he ever done, right? So I get all of that. Yeah, so, yeah, Toxic Tom said, nah, F that, pay me. And back to the analogy, even with George Pickens, somebody said it's 2 first-round draft picks. Now, that's a lot of dip on that chip. So they put the tender 2 first round. That's why they ain't getting no phone calls. But if it wasn't that, regardless of the past or the pattern that alleged Kim Kardashian had, if she were to walk down the street downtown Dallas, there would still be people trying to holler. There would still be people saying, you know what, Ray J might have did that first, but let me see if I can be the 85th guy, or let me see if I can be the 1,000th guy. Oops, you know what I'm saying? You know, so that's just how it goes. If you are something that's of an attraction, people will dismiss some of the things. So if GP still have a levels of attractions, then it should be a situation and scenario that somebody should at least give him a call. Now, granted, next week, the week of the draft or the day of the draft, that's when the intensity or that's when all of the intense conversation may happen, and the sense of urgency will be bestowed upon these teams to give George Pickens a call, you know. Yeah.
Look at my African American.
Are you shitting me?
No.
Are you shitting me?
The 85th guy is got. Boy, oh my God. And there will be people waiting in line talking about as soon as he dropped the ball, I'll be the 86th guy. You know what I'm saying? That's just for what it is. Ain't this right, Ruth? Toxic Tom said it'll be like throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
All I ask
is when you lay
is
your
when you lay your head on that pillow at night.
And when you lay your head on the pillow, that gave you everything. Oh my gosh, boy. Toxic Tom. All right, man, this show is off the rail, man. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, man. Hey, There's some people, ain't it right, Ruth? There's some people would do it and won't even say a word. They be the 86 guy and won't say a word. They be like, yeah, where you was the other night, man? I got a call from the Kardashians, man. Why you sweating so much, man? I gave her everything I had. I couldn't feel nothing on the sides. It was like throwing a hot dog down the hallway. Oh, my gosh, man. All right, so back to the Cowboys conversation.
You said it'll heat up a lot last week. Can you confirm or deny if you guys have gotten any calls for first-round pick offers for George Pickens thus far?
Yeah, you hate to get into things like that, but no, we've had no one call, with interest in George Pickens.
Have you guys? I know you said,
Man, I gotta probably pull up the full interview because I want. Is this full interview on YouTube? I don't like that snippet. I need more context, man. Let me see if I go to YouTube and find that full interview, man. Let me go to, and I appreciate you, DP, hollering, Skip.
My turn! Told me it was my turn. It's my turn.
You know the funniest part about that drop is the fact that you can hear the frustration, because I remember that episode. They just kept talking, and Skip was trying to get his point out, right? And I don't like Skip Bayless, but every now and then, even a trash can get a steak, right? So Skip was like, "Come on, man, you can do all this talking."
My turn. Told me it was my turn.
And watch how he calmed down at the end.
My turn.
He said, "It's my turn." It did. So at the end of the day, man, Skip was right on that. He was very right. Let me see if I can find the full interview, because that snippet is not going to give me a lot of context, right? So if I can find the full interview on 105.3 The Fan. YouTube. Give me 1 second here, because that's going to be the determining factor. And the screen might go away. Let me see if I can find that full interview. Let me see.
And 36 is better than that, and a 4-year starter is better than that. But, All
right, so I have no meetings today, right? The full interview is about 17 minutes. Put 17 in the chat if y'all want me to dissect the full interview. Now, this might stretch the show out 30 minutes longer than what it needs to be, but for context, I haven't heard any of this. But let me know if you guys have time today, and if y'all wanting, because we got over 100 folks in here, and I know it's the off season. It kills me every time I only see low participation. But if y'all want, and I know you guys rewind gang, y'all been doing y'all thing, man. Y'all been watching and helping stuff out. Okay, great. So we all have time, right? Okay. So it's a 17-minute interview.
That really
years into the future.
we have a lot of respect.
All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start it right here at the 35-second mark.
Believe it is for the NFL to get a deal done with the Referees Association and the regular refs for the regular season?
Well, I was, because of my role on the competition, I was actually there as well. And certainly, we'd like to agree to a deal with our officials. At the same time, it's a work in progress. We have a lot of respect, but also, it's business. And, just like any other negotiation, until it's done, you really don't like to comment on anything.
These are always cordial visits, too, right? No fisticuffs breaking out there?
No, they were professional and cordial.
Okay, I like to hear that.
Oh, we've talked with you a lot about the salary cap in the past, and I know people get caught up about when they talk about the draft. They say, "Hey, what does the team need right now?" But whenever you talk about the salary cap, you talk about planning 2, 3, 4 years into the future. Do you have to have that same kind of mindset when you go into these drafts?
Yeah, I think it's all part of the bigger picture, and you certainly as you focus on the draft and what it can be for you and what that's going to look. I mean, one of the great things about our draft, especially this day and time, whether it's college or almost anything, for us to have, personnel certainty. If you can have success in the draft, you're going to have that player either 4 or 5 years, at a number that's reasonable. And certainly that's why I think, most teams would tell you that's the foundation of their football team. With the salary cap that we have today, it's so important. The draft's just so important.
Would that?
Yeah, you know what? And Stephen Jones always talked like that. It grinds my gears a little bit. It's always it's like how Mom used to talk back in the days when you want to stop by McDonald's before they put all those chemicals in it. Way back in the days, they say you got your McDonald's at the house. He always talked like that. There's and then you be sitting there like, what? Ain't no food at the house, and then she go into. There's turkey, there's ham, there's cheese, you got bread in the house, you got some Roman noodles, you know how they stretch it out. You be like sitting there like, man, come on, man, that ain't the same. Look, we just want some food right now. We don't want to go all the way to the house and wait to get the food prepared and stuff like that. And then they say, man, we got some popcorn, we got some Kool-Aid. Why they stretch words out like that? So whenever you hear Stephen Jones, it kind of like we got to worry about the pie, and by me being on the competition community, we got to adhere to the new rules and regulations, and it's not just enough pie to go around. Like, why he talking spread out them damn words, man? He's just trying to convince us that what he's doing is the right and proper thing. He always stretch them out. And that's always been on my mind whenever I hear Stephen Jones speak. That's just me. I could be 1,000% wrong, but it seems as if though he's always trying to stretch it out when we trying to tell his simple ass, look, man, won't you just go ahead and get this deal done and stop worrying about the pie and alibi and all of this singing stuff that you've been doing. We just want to win, We don't want to know about how you can't get money here and there. And the joke that he played a couple years ago, and he was saying, well, we going to see how the Rams recover, and they probably would never get back because they spent all of that money. The Rams are laughing at you, Stephen Jones. They are very much so laughing at you, Stephen Jones.
Would that potentially lure you into saying, we'd be okay taking an older player in the draft because maybe as they get a little older, we don't have to get that second contract with them? Or does that matter?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up. I think these players that are older, I think it's a two-edged sword. One is really good. Certainly you're seeing it with quarterbacks. We were just talking about offensive linemen, how important it is as well. But some of these guys coming out are 24, 25 years old. But the flip side of that is they have a tremendous amount of experience, and which really helps them transition right into the professional game. The more and more you look at these things, these players who only have started, 12 games in college, 24 is obviously a lot better, and 36 is better than that, and a 4-year starter is better than that. But, that really enables them to transition usually at a faster rate if they have you still got to have the skill set and the things that come with being a professional football player, but that helps. Now, the downside of that is some of them are going to be then 28, 29, 30 years old when they come up on their second contract.
Now, you just mentioned, obviously, quarterback could be one position that would be beneficial. Are there any other positions the team has identified as saying, you know what, more starts and perhaps sometimes an older player is not so bad at these positions either?
No, I just mentioned it. The offensive line, I think, is really it's an advantage to have played. It's really coming into play in our evaluations. how many years have they started at a particular school. Certainly, anything that any position that gets into really needing experience is helpful. Obviously, some of the more skilled, highly skilled positions, whether it's a corner or a receiver or running back, those type of places, you can obviously get away with having elite athletic skills and being, quite a bit younger and not as much experience.
Now, Stephen, I'm wondering, have you fallen in love with any one particular player, or do you think there will be a player you're going to love landing at 12 no matter what?
Come on, man. Come on. You can't lead the witness into this situation, Yeah. Let me see what he going to say. Ladies and gentlemen, and due to fair use, I got to stop every other second here. But I appreciate you guys. The link is right here. Click this link, and you can listen to the full interview without me pausing. But shout out to Fair Use and shout out to the Cowboys and all what they do.
In the draft, you can fall in love with many. Unlike life, you're you're with your wife. In the draft, you certainly can fall in love with multiple players, and certainly we have a bunch of players on the board that we really have a high opinion of that we think could really help our football team, and certainly that's how you end up stacking them. And if they're in our first round, probably any team would say this, then there's a lot of love for that player.
I'm guessing perhaps since you just mentioned that the draft board isn't totally locked in just yet, but do you have a general idea of maybe how many first-round grades y'all are going to have?
It's still a little early, but, usually we're in that 16 to 20, 21, 22 range.
Damn.
That's a big number right there. I like hearing that one right now. How much?
Now I don't know that we'll get there this year, in terms of the 20s, but, we're great.
Now, that's the telltale sign. So normally in any draft, it's about 12 to 13 true first rounders. By him looking at this and evaluating anywhere between what he said, 20 to 22 or 20 to 21, I need to, if I can just be a fly on the wall and see their draft board and see where they ranking players, that would tell me everything. But in this draft, I just don't see. Let's use Tankathon for a cheat sheet right quick, and we go to NFL and we're gonna go to Big Board. This is their top 20 right here. They have Reese, Downs, Mendoza, Bailey, Love, Styles, Bain, Francis, Tate, Delane. That's their top 10, and then they have the next 10 will be Spencer, Lemon, Tyson, Freeland, Vega, Dillon, Jamad, Sadiq, Proctor, Keldrick Falk. So that's Tankathon's top 20, right? So we have access, believe it or not, to all of these guys, depending on how the board or depending on how teams draft. Everybody that's on here, we have a percentage chance. Like, you can probably argue that we have above 80% chance of getting most of these guys with the 12th and the 20th pick. Now, how you scramble up your board is depending on where they are at, and we just don't have access to the Cowboys draft board. But what we can do is pretty much extract this sheet and maybe extract PFF sheet and extract maybe like my guy Foots the King, Boss Cowboy, show me boss, I guess that's how you say it. And then you can extract probably Vach's a list, and then or Brian Broadus, Dane Bugler. I said Bane Bugler. That's crazy. Dane Bugler, and then you can literally say, okay, the odds are that strongly the consensus show that we should at least have this guy. We should at least have a target to get a Mansour Delane, or we should be in the wheelhouse to get maybe a Dylan Thieneman or Jamad McCoy based off of the information that they're saying. So those are ways that you can pretty much probably gauge a way that you could probably get one of these guys. But outside of that, we don't know.
Grinding it out right now, and as you said, we hadn't put the final grades on anything, and this will obviously evolve into a board that we really have confidence in.
As you guys are putting together that board, I've always been fascinated. How much do you feel like you can learn from the players that have the draft visits with y'all that obviously wouldn't pop up by just watching film?
Yeah, I think anytime you get to spend more time with a player, and especially when you bring one in for a 30 visit, you're getting almost 24 hours with that player to really, delve deep into a lot of areas. And, I think that's why we've ended up over the years drafting quite a few guys that were actually on the 30 visit. Now they're coming on the 30 visit because obviously we've seen a lot of things that are interesting to us, and we want to get to know more about those particular players and even have more detailed work on them.
We've discussed Jermod McCoy a lot, special talent, as a lot of these guys are. We did hear Jerry say no red shirts, and we've kind of stuck with that a lot. Do you think he qualifies a red shirt, or has he cleared that hurdle for you guys?
Yeah, that's a work in progress. We're trying to, do all the work that we need to do to, to get our hands around what his status will be for, we start with everything, what his status is for the mini camps, what his status is for the training camp, and then ultimately will he be able to play part of the season, none of the season. All those are levels that then we put into an equation and decide where we might come down on that particular player.
And you kind of discussed, the amount of games earlier, but how much does missing one full year affect your approach with a guy?
No, this happens, and there's been a lot of players in this league that miss a year due to injury that really come back and have great careers. So I don't know that that's a deciding factor. I think obviously, if you miss the entire year this year or miss the back half of the year, but it's going to linger into a big part of our coming season, then that's probably a bigger factor than somebody who just missed last year but's already ready to go and start minicamp.
There are a lot of folks who kind of think this draft will be more trade-filled than past drafts. Have you gotten that sense at all 9 days out that have there been more phone calls or pre-draft team-to-team discussion compared to maybe a usual draft?
No, I think it's too early to tell that. I think, next week as people finalize their boards and start to strategize, have their strategy sessions, then that comes into play. But I'm still a big believer that most of these trades, happen, as you're on the board. Players fall off that you wanted, and then you're willing to come out. Players are staying on the board that you might not think might be there, and then you're attempted to move up a little bit. You might not be willing to, give up what it costs to go way up the draft. But if a player starts to fall, then you get a little thought that, hey, maybe we could move up and it wouldn't cost as much, and we still get the guy that that we think is the best player for us in a particular draft, depending on where you pick.
Can you? I always love Kevin and I try to play this game a little bit. Can you describe the anatomy of a trade? Like, what's that really like in that room on those phones from your past experiences? That
my past experience is that normally.
All right, so I just while he was talking, I was trying to get this going. This is the Cowboys top 30 visits. So we talked about this before. It's pretty much a solid interview. But remember, we was compiling like who the possibilities would be. Well, these are the Cowboys top 30 visits, and 9 times out of 10, they're gonna pretty much adhere to picking some of these guys or one of these guys off of this particular list. So if you guys can, if you already got this screenshot, you can screenshot it. But basically, they broke this down into categories, whereas the Cowboys got 7 safeties, cornerback/safeties, that they brought into the mix. And lo and behold, Christian Parker is a DB type of guy. So that's 7 guys they brought in. And then they brought in One, two, three, four linebackers, and then they brought in a few linemen as far as edge guys. So if I'm a betting man, and of course they even brought in Eli Stowers, so they brought in a hybrid guy, Emmanuel Warren McNeil, with all of them damn names. They brought him in, and now that you think about it, if I'm a betting man, right, I would say that the Cowboys will arguably is going to draft in the first round on April the 23rd a safety or a cornerback or a defensive back, basically. You can book it. It's going to be one of those boys, right? And the smallest room was the wide receivers, of course, on offense and tight end. And I think they brought in a quarterback, for a 30-day visit. I think Tyler Green, if I'm not mistaken, which they might convert him to a tight end. I don't know. So when you think about this, that small group of linebackers, Reese, Styles, Josiah, and Anthony Hill, that's a small Costco sample size of guys that they brought in. And if you heard from Stephen Jones, this is our way of getting someone and looking at them for 24 hours. 24 hours is not a short time. That's a long time, man. One of my favorite movies was 24, back in the days, and that was a really good movie. They did a lot of stuff in 24 hours. So if you look at this, I would say that the Cowboys ultimately is going to draft one of these guys. Out of this list, one of these guys is going to have silver and blue and the star on the side of their helmet. You can book it.
When you're on the clock is when the activity starts, and usually it's someone calling you wanting to move up is usually how it happens. Usually if you're wanting to move down and you're starting to have to call, the next 15 teams below you, that's not a good sign. Usually if someone's wanting to come up, they're calling you, and especially, in the first round. But usually that holds for the whole draft that, teams see a player they want and they call, and you hope in a lot of cases that 2 or 3 teams are calling for the pick, and then you have a competitive situation for your particular pick, and especially if you're willing to come out of it.
But
no doubt. So for those who, like Bama Boy says, was Caleb Downs a 30 visit? Yes. While he's talking, I'm gonna put like a star. I'm gonna put like a little asterisk or something, a little dot by the person that I wouldn't mind with the 12th pick, right? And let them talk, and y'all going to see it on the screen, okay?
Never say, well, really, because the Ravens just said they would offer me this as a bluff, right?
Well, I can't speak for other people, and I probably shouldn't speak to us.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Now,
I think they're always honest, Kevin.
Sure. Everybody in all aspects of life is always honest. Now, we've talked a lot about the origins way back in the day of the Jimmy Johnson trade value chart for the draft. How much has that evolved, whether it's, more of a Rich Hill model or anything else? Has that draft value chart changed a lot over the decades?
Well, I have to correct you in all due respect. That was a Mike McCoy draft chart. At the end of the day, I watched him put it together, and he showed me how he was putting it together. Obviously, Jimmy and Jerry used it, but that was a Mike McCoy draft chart, who was a valedictorian at Oklahoma and Petroleum Engineers, and understood how to chart those things and come up with values. Now, you can imagine with analytics and AI the way they are today, these charts are constantly evolving. You got to know the data that's going into them to understand it. Everybody has, what is quote unquote what most people feel.
All right, we got about like 5 minutes left on this video. All right, so for those who like the slow motion that we're doing today, I appreciate it. So these are the stars that I have. I got 5 stars on guys that I wouldn't mind with the 12th. With the 12th pick. 9 times out of 10, one of these guys, and there's no way, it's impossible. It's impossible for these guys to bring in the 30-day visit, right? And if I'm seeing this list right here, this list right here, you know what I mean? That they'll pass up on these guys, right? So that's Mansour Delane, That's Caleb Downs. In no particular order, by the way. Avell Reese, Sonny Styles, and David Bailey. Those 5 names, what are the odds before you get to the 12th position or the 12th pick that none of them there, right? It's about a 30% chance that these 5 names are going to be there. If it's such a situation that with the 12th pick of the NFL draft, if one of these 5 names there, you can book it that the Cowboys going to draft them. And McNeil Warren, he's way down on the list. I can't scroll once I have this lit like this, but he's right here. He's more, to me, prime candidate for the 20th pick, right? Not necessarily with the 12th. But and is Dylan here, Thieneman? I don't see his name here. And if he was a guy that's on this list, apart me, then it will be 6 guys. I don't think that the Cowboys would pass up none of those things for what we've seen out of the Cowboys storyline. Yes, A. Smith says no trade calls because his price is too high. And here's my thoughts on this with George Pickens, and it's going back to the main topic line. I think in the last 5 minutes they're going to talk about the George Pickens no-call situation. We know for sure that the Cowboys set that 2 first-round draft picks out there. I don't think that George Pickens' market value is warranting 2 first-round draft picks. Now, if this was a back-to-back type of situation, then you can argue and say, yes, GP deserved to be acquired by 2 first-round draft picks. But for us to only spend a 3rd-round draft pick, and if we can flip that to 2 first-round draft picks, boy, I would literally, as much as I want to see GP with the silver and blue and the star on the side of the helmet, if a team is willing to give us 2 first-round draft picks plus pay him, then, hey, to the left, I'm singing that Beyonce song. I can find another one of you in a minute, however that song goes. I would be willing to shop around 2 first-round draft picks for GP, right? No offense to him, right? But it's just for what it is. Now, that other storyline with the Ravens saying, okay, we'll give you our 14th pick for GP, that's going to be a hard no. Not a soft no. We're like, nah, man, it's going to be a hard no. Like, nah, get on. Maybe, just maybe the day of the draft, if it's a situation where GP is in David Mulugeta and Jerry Jones don't see eye to eye and you want to get out of that space, then maybe, just maybe. But it's not going to be for the 14th pick overall, straight up. I'm greedy. I would tell Ravens, give me that 14th pick and throw in a 3rd or something like that. I just can't let them get off with just 1 straight up. Yes, indeed. And especially how the Ravens do things. They might get GP and he come out there, play around, catch a few balls for a week, and then they say, well, we rescind this damn contract. We don't want to trade anymore. So the Ravens got bad blood, too, with trade. So it is for what it is. Let's listen to the rest of this.
Feel like is a standard over the last, 3 to 5 years, but then there's always one that you might have that you say, hey, we think the draft chart's evolved, and it may give you an advantage if someone's willing to go off the old chart. It may give you an advantage in what you feel analytically is the true value.
I like how he's giving those engineers their credit where credit's due.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin.
No, I appreciate that info.
Yeah.
Stephen, I always wonder how challenging it is to get a read on players from smaller programs like, say, a Toledo or something like that versus bigger programs like maybe a Texas based on how their competition is. How much weight does that have, and how do y'all go through that?
That's a good question.
I think it's big. I mean, obviously, it's able to project, if you're coming from a Power 4 school.
That's what she said.
For a top program playing against the very best. And obviously, that's even more so the case today as some of these smaller school young men, have found their way to the top Power 4 schools with NIL and all the things that are out there now. So there's not near as many players playing at the smaller schools. Obviously, you have had the occasional. I mean, Revel was one of those guys that was at a small school, and he stuck with.
It wouldn't be a good time to drop Revel name right now. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Revel and what's the other small school? Jalen Tolbert to a degree, even though he's gone. Read the rooms. Come on, Stephen Jones. Small schools right now, and shout out to the small schools, man. Right now, it will be wise to not mention the kids that didn't really excel. That's all I'm going to say with that.
With where he was, and you run across those guys. So, but at the end of the day, certainly you like to see. That's why you have a Senior Bowl. You like to see these guys going against top level competition that are going to be drafted as well. Versus it's harder to project when you see them against a lot lesser level of competition. Obviously, they should be dominant, but you still got to do some projecting that is more difficult than when you see Alabama and Georgia going at it, and seeing those guys compete against one another. You get a better feel for what it's going to look like on our level.
Obviously, Stephen, and for us, it's really exciting to have 2 first-round picks. It's a opportunity to do something special. How much of a culture-changing mentality are you looking for in one or both of these picks? Does that need to be a factor?
Yeah, I think it all factors in at the end of the day, and certainly we're trying to create an identity and a culture overall for this football team. Certainly on defense, we felt like we lacked that last year, defense in particular, that we didn't have the identity, the culture, that we needed, that the players were buying into and playing with an edge. And certainly that's the goal. And then ultimately the goal is to have a culture and an identity for our entire football team that Shotty's trying to develop in terms of, the type of men that we bring in here to compete day in and day out. That certainly, when they're working together every day are a positive influence on what we're ultimately trying to be as an organization, as a football team.
We're talking with Stephen Jones right here on 105.3 The Fan. You walk through something that I think is really fascinating, and fans fall into this trap. I have been guilty of this trap. Do you think sometimes the fan base might underestimate the difficulty of trading back when you were lining up like, hey, we should have traded back. We could have got that same player. Do you think people underestimate how tough it is when your pick is up and nobody is calling?
There's that old deal when the phone doesn't ring. you know it's me.
All right. Yeah.
It's a problem, and certainly, when you're trying to call and go back, the price goes way down, and it's really hard to get value. We've certainly attempted if we really do want to trade down, but most of the time. When you're having to make those calls to say, hey, would you give me something for this?
Man, when they go talk about George Pickens, don't tell me I done went through 15 minutes and I haven't heard the George Pickens conversation.
You give me for this pick, or here's what the chart says. Would you be willing to do it? We're willing to come out. It's not near as successful as when the phone's ringing and they're wanting to come up and get the pick.
Have you guys, I know you said it'll heat up a lot last week. Can you confirm or deny if you guys have gotten any calls for first-round pick offers for George Pickens thus far?
Yeah, you hate to get into things like that, but no, we've had no one call, with interest in George Pickens.
All right, last thing from me, Stephen.
You ain't going to expound upon that? You held our feet for 15 minutes, and that's all y'all said? No follow-up? You better follow up. Y'all better follow up.
Before we let you go, could you see yourself falling in love with an Ohio State player?
Absolutely. There's you look at that, and no way is this being critical, but you look at some of their guys and you go, how in the hell did they ever lose a football game?
Oh, man, come on, man. Oh, brother. Oh, my gosh, boy, I can't never get that time back.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Oh, my goodness. That Damn, Stephen Jones. Damn. That's oh my gosh, man. That's one-sided too. That's one-sided to say that. That's nobody's willing to give him a call right now. Now normally in that situation when it's favoring the Cowboys, which it is right now, no one's calling for him, right? But if it wasn't favoring the Cowboys, if everybody calling for him, then he would say, hey, man, that right now we still under negotiation. We can't speak upon those things right now. Hey, that should have been the conversation. But to sit here to say, hey, nobody calls, that taints GP to a degree. Because it's showing that, hey, he's not getting any value. And even if he's true, even if that's true, you shouldn't say that, because now that's like you got to create the sense of urgency. Even if he would have told a white lie, you know what I'm saying? Because white lies do work sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Christopher Columbus discovered America. Hey, they could have told the white lie. Man, we receiving multitudes of calls. Don't you know what that would have done? Yes, we received multitudes of calls. Now the Bills sitting there like, oh snap, I gotta give him a call. Now, who else need a wide receiver? The Ravens, they probably say, well, we were going to offer a 14, but since other teams are calling now, we'll throw in the 14th pick and our second-round draft pick. That's how you create your own sense of urgency with the value. Yes, I'm getting a lot of calls, man. That's what I would have done, and we would have got the deal even closer. But by him saying, hey, man, we ain't receiving no calls, it put the pressure back on GP and his agent now, which is cool. I get it. I get the art of kind of like, I get the art of that. You know what I'm saying? But you got to sometimes create your own sense of urgency. Yes, indeed. Got to understand the call. You ain't lying, man. He going to hold out, and I wouldn't blame him. Facts, right? Because what Stephen is going to say, hey, bro, ain't nobody wanting you like that. What you did last year, that's nothing. That's not nothing to your talent. That's all Dak Prescott. Ain't it right, Dak? Right? That, what is it, 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns, 93 receptions. Man, anybody can do that. That's why nobody's calling you. Nobody's picking up their phone for you. Because of those reasonings there. You know what I'm saying? So that's just for what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's crazy to that degree. No one's calling because he's a Cowboy, right? 2 firsts for GP, for Miles break the offense doesn't fix the defense. Yeah, I feel you on that. Appreciate you. Then that's crazy, man. You sandbag your own guy. All right, Steven doesn't care about that law. They want the embarrass the players. Yeah, man, come on, man. The art of manipulation. Yes, indeed. Ain't nobody wanting you, GP. Yeah, that's what they said, basically. Ain't nobody wanting you, my bro. So you better take this off of what we telling you. The deal is $32 million. GP like, man, damn. And David Mulugeta saying like, no, I want 45, I don't know what David is saying, but it's crazy. All right. They're going to end up, if they don't get a deal done before training camp, it's going to be one of those off seasons.
That's really, I think you've identified exactly where I started, which is, do you want the one great player or do you want 2 good ones? That's sort of the way they'd be looking at it.
But I think, I mean, I get it. I understand that you kind of like want more cracks at it, and maybe you feel as though you can kind of fill a couple more needs. Sonny is can't miss, though.
Yeah.
He's cannot miss.
I hate when they say that can't miss prospects. And I like Styles. Styles make fights. I would like to see him in the silver and blue. But I don't like to put all of that pressure on a young kid.
Let me say that again. He is cannot miss. When you get him, you know you're getting a great player. You're getting a great person. And that's exactly what they need on that side of the ball, where all we did was kill them last year, and deservedly so. This guy will change that.
You know what? They're ultimately, because the draft is still the unknown, right? And I'm not taking away from Sonny Styles. The only can't miss as advertised player are players who absolutely played in the National Football League, right? Like to a point, even to a smaller degree, the Max Crosby situation. The reason why most of Cowboy fans and I would love to have him here is because he have a resume, right? You know what he can do when healthy and all of that. That's more of a surety than the unknown, right? The reason why people banging the table to get rid of 2 first-round draft picks and a possible third for Myles Garrett, because he got a history. And only a fool would sit there and say, hey, man, he's on a decline, when every year since his rookie year, he had double-digit sacks. And last season, the brother had 23. You can combine all of the sacks combined from our players last year, and it probably won't equate 23. He did that by himself. So those are can't miss when you are already playing in the National Football League and you know the terrain, you know the alley, you know what you're going to absolutely get. But the draft is always a crap shot, because none of these boys ever played 17 weeks of football. None of these boys played in the immense amount of pressure as it relates to being up against football, grown man bodies, right? So that's the only thing. Now, I don't want these guys to put that much dip on the chip for those boys. All right, so this is a person that I know, and I hope that they do miss, but his name being brought up multitudes of time, and his name is Keldrick Falk. Let's listen to this.
The name that I keep hearing, and this might be your social media clip, the name that I keep hearing, I'm not sure if it's 12 or 20, I keep hearing Keldrick Falk and the Cowboys being tied together. And Clarence is laughing. I keep hearing that name. Now, that might be at 12 or that might be at 20. But this is people not in the Cowboys organization, but from others around the league. And you got to understand, when I say that, all these scouts talk. So if there is a scout from the Cowboys that is hot on, or a GM or it's usually not coming from that team. It's coming from someone who I worked with him for 10 years and and that's who they like. And that's how this stuff comes about. Falk is a name that keeps popping up to the Cowboys, and it's probably more likely at 20 than 12. But if all those defensive players are off the board, maybe they reach and take him at 12. Do you guys have
Man, we've been trying to dodge that Falk, man, for a long time. And I'm being real with y'all. When the Cowboys lock their vision in on you, you can't turn them away. They have focal vision. If I knew right hand to the man, when that individual, I'm not going to say his name, 2 days before the draft, and I got some of that clip still somewhere. I did so many videos. 2 days before the draft, he hit me and said, we just did a private physical on LVE. And if it comes out green, we 100% drafting him, right? That was 2 days before the draft. I held on to that information. And we talked about it. It was me, my guy DDP, y'all remember him back in the days, and Big Game James. We did a draft party. I got that information. I told everybody in that room, if LVE is available on the clock, you can book your house, your blood, your name, that the Cowboys, because my insider told me that if this checkout is 100% that they drafted him. And that day, if I was a person, if they had these sports betting things, I would have been a multi-millionaire if I'd have put all of my money in on that. Because lo and behold, they rushed up there and drafted LVE. And I was wrong on LVE for 1 year. because the things that I said bad about him, it didn't happen. Because that first year of LVE, he made me look wrong because he played lights out. Then from there, I was right. You know what I'm saying? So these guys, when they keep mentioning Falk, I was on that show, DLLS, about 4 weeks ago, I believe, 4 or 5 weeks ago. And my brother from another mother, Clarence Hill, was mentioning Keldrick Falk. And there were some other guys that mentioned Keldrick Falk. Keldrick Falk might as well go ahead and get him a silver and blue and a star on the side of the helmet, because somebody within the Cowboys organization or franchise, they know this kid, they really trust in this kid, and he may just be a Cowboy by April the 23rd.
Rarity with his game?
I wasn't laughing at you. Falk has become a pejorative among Cowboy fans. That's what I was saying. It's like, they're like, no, Falk. So that's what I was laughing. That's what I was saying about.
And there's smoke. I can't say it's real, but there is definitely smoke to Falk at some place in the Cowboys realm.
I guess that drop is his name. Mesidor, Howell, RMT, all better than Falk. Yeah, I feel you, Camo. But when the Cowboys are lasered in on somebody, ain't nothing we can do about it, man. Bama Boy says so. Law. So what your insiders say this draft, please share it confidentially, or I got it. Shh. It's Falk, But I would know 2 days before the draft. I would absolutely know. I would definitely know. We will all know. Well, a day before the draft. I'm out speaking my wisdom teeth. I hit them up, and if they hit me with this, I can't say the name. I can't leak the name, and it's not Rich Dalrymple, But if they say if I get that text and they are saying, "Hey, Law, come here, man. Come holler at me, man. Hey, Cowboys drafting Keldrick Falk. If he's there at 20, you can book it." Now, what will crush us all? What will crush us all, and we'll be some real tears. With the 12th pick of the NFL draft, the Cowboys select Keldrick Falk. We gonna be moving some furniture around here, man. And the Cowboys would do this to you. I'm just saying, the Cowboys would do this to you. And then watch, Keldrick Falk will pull around, and if he don't get drafted here, he goes to another team and get 15 sacks a season. I say, damn, I was wrong. I will go buy his jersey and wear it for a full week or something, if he does something like that, and sometimes it happens. And speaking of draft, we will be at Roller Town for the draft. Speaking of it, we will have on our draft show the beard, and I still gonna tell Travis Frederick, you got a nice beard, bro, you know what I'm saying, but my beard is still better. But Travis Frederick will be along with us hosting the draft show. So Travis Frederick, we're gonna have my guy from Toledo, Barry Church, in the mix. So the draft show gonna be crunk. They just got to come with it with the players, man. We better not put on this damn good draft show, and then all of a sudden, with the 12th pick of the NFL draft, the Cowboys select. Boy, we gonna be really mad. Oh my God, Vinny says Vach like Falk. Oh my gosh. Lord, I would reconstruct my entire house. Yeah, Falk might be the guy then, sure. But to be fair to Falk, he got the measurables. He got all of the size that you would like to see, especially in this defense, just to be fair, right? On the high end, maybe he could turn into somebody like a not a Calais Campbell, but maybe he can turn into somebody that can be of that tier to get to the quarterback. When you look at his tape, you don't see a lot of bursts get off and the separations, a lot of bendability. When I look at the tape, I'm seeing more of like a Marshawn Nealon type, you know. And no offense to bringing up Marshawn Nealon, but I'm just saying for what I see, it's just a little bit more refined, just a little bit smaller, refined version of a Marshawn Nealon, right? And to me, Nealon had a better burst and get off, and he had better hand placements going against, like, who would really dominate, may he rest in peace, would be a Marshawn Nealon in this system. He would have really dominated in this system from what we can look at for what CP is trying to do. Yes, indeed. Let me go here. Let me see. Did we cover everything? Appreciate everybody, man, for rocking with me on this show. Was it this? Yeah. Yeah, that was the compensation. Okay, good. They're talking about, there was a proposal out there for what's his name, George Pickens, and the proposal trade concept was Baltimore Ravens trade for wide receiver George Pickens, and they sent a first-round draft pick for the 14th overall, and that's to the Dallas All-Pro. I don't think that proposal was anything of substance or relevancy. Let's get things moving and grooving. Yeah, somebody said, CeeLo said, please stop saying it, man. Please stop saying it. But let's say this right here. New chapter for health and wellness is coming to life in the spring of 2026 in DeSoto. This is the Arc at McCowan Park, with a resort-style leisure pool, an Olympic-sized competition pool, and state-of-the-art gym facility. The Arc is designed for movement, recovery, and community. Lock in an exclusive saving with discount code ARCLAW and be among the first to experience the Arc. No doubt experience the Arc here in DeSoto, so be sure to reach out to our proud partners, the city of DeSoto, and use the code ARCLAW to get percentages off on your membership. And you can always feel free to come down to DeSoto and do a tour, and one of our guides will be able to walk you through the facility there. 75,000 square footage is there, so be sure to bring your walking shoes. And on top of that, when you think about the Arc, it's a $55 million facility. They didn't do any shortcuts there, so be sure to check them out. And if you are an investor, I'm not saying where to put your money, but what I'm saying is the Olympic-style training facility that they have here, when competitions arise, you might want to position yourself to buy some property to set up things around that area. I'm hearing that they are finna finish up Loop 9 for all of my economic development people. They're going to merge Mansfield in through Red Oak all the way through Glen Heights. And that's where that facility is located at. So they already finna put and produce a Top Golf in that area. They got the B&B movie theater. So if you got a few dollars, man, hit me up too. You know what I'm saying? And we get things moving and grooving, especially for those who want to develop that area there. Sarge says, and thank you so much for the $4.99 for your mind. Hey, Law, if we do draft an edge, can we not give him 94? Let that number rest for a while. Yeah, I think 94, let it rest for a second there. The next 9-4 that you get, make sure that he's an explosive guy. You can covet that number and make sure that he's dynamic in all thy ways. And yes, do it that way, out of respect. And before they issue out even number 11, make sure it's a rock star, you know what I'm saying? Because you know how that goes. I'll prefer the Cowboys to give 11 to an offensive player so that we can wash away the memories of Parsons to that degree, right? I'm just saying, I'm not beating up Parsons nor the number 11. I know numbers are numbers, but, Yeah, pay homage to those guys, man, and let's figure out ways that we can wash away some of those things, right? Like to me personally, it's weird as I'll get out seeing Kevontae Turpin wear number 9, right? I like Turpin, believe it or not, when he was wearing number 2 before they was trying to fight and wrestle out that number, right? So, but Turpin, to me, like they should have gave a little bit more reverence to that number 9, in my opinion. You get what I'm saying? And there's no daggers thrown at Tony or daggers thrown at Turpin, but I feel like the Cowboys should have reverenced that number and just kept that number as a quarterback number or deal away with that number back on offense, maybe keep it on defense, things like that. But I know that's neither here nor there. People like, man, just give us a chance to win Super Bowls. F them numbers, right? And I get that part of it. But before we go into more details, let's talk about our proud partners.
It starts from the first phone call. Most of the time, you're going to talk to Gene Burkett, a 30-year partner. You're not going to talk to some employee that just got put on the phones that day.
There are things that are so crucial, especially if it's a cataclysmic event, to have our experts get out and look at the vehicle, witness statements, photos, the whole thing.
Call Frenkel first. Chosen by the people, feared by the insurance companies. Call Frenkel first.
No doubt, Frenkel and Frenkel personal injury lawyers backed by a combined of 100 years of experiences. Be sure to check out our proud partners, Frenkel and Frenkel personal injury lawyers. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't dial that number, just visit frankelfirm.com. Now, my hotline is 657-390-7391. It is 12:29. Let me see if we got anybody in here. We have Too Cool from the 210. You in, my brother? Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
Bro, what's good with you?
Hey, man, all is well. Can't complain.
Hey, man. Hey, two things, man. We gotta stop doing, man. Like sometimes, man. I ain't gonna even say Cowboy fans. It's these 3 and 4 letter networks. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones saying there is no trade market for George Pickens right now. The reason why I say that is this. Everybody made a big issue, a big deal, when they moved on from Michael Parsons after the draft, right? So we went into the draft saying that they should have traded him during the draft or before the draft. They could have got more compensation for him. Right. So now you keep that same logic, and here it is a whole year that Jerry Jones didn't have to hear that when they traded Micah, that if they would have did X, Y, and Z, they could have got more for him. So Jerry Jones just beat everybody to the punch right now and say, hey, before y'all tell me what we didn't do and what we can't do and what we should have done, this is the trade market for him right now. I'm out here. I'm for the players, but I'm not out here trying to give the players like one of the best deals, because if I'm the Cowboys, I want to pay you $32 million versus you resetting the market because JSN just got $40 million.
So let me ask you this though, Too Cool. So you're saying, and I just want to make sure for clarity, you're saying that you want George Pickens to play under the franchise tag?
No. I don't want him to play under the franchise tag.
What do you want to pay him? What do you want to pay him? If you're the GM today,
I would give him $33 million. I would give him $1 million less than CeeDee Lamb, because I do not believe in the next man up concept.
Okay.
And I believe that NFL owners, I believe there's a lot of collusion that goes on. I believe right now that those owners already know that they're not going to go out there and they're not going to pay Pickens anyway. I believe based off the way Pickens carried himself in Pittsburgh, he's kind of like he's on black labeled right now in the NFL when it comes to, do you trade for him, what we going to pay him, so nobody wants to touch him.
So you said, like, you are aware that CeeDee Lamb contract is 3 years ago, right? That 33 is 3 years old, right? It's dated now. He got paid in 2023. It's 2026. You know how inflation and all of this stuff goes. And if I'm if I'm David Mulugeta, why would you sign that $33 million deal?
And if I'm any other owner, if I'm Jerry Jones, why am I giving him 35 plus million off 1 year of great productivity with Dak Prescott? Now I can see if he plays on a franchise tag and he comes back and do 1,500 yards, 1,200 yards, and he proves himself. But at the same time, what do we do when CeeDee Lamb put up 1,600 yards next year and he say, hey, I want a new deal too? Somebody got to go.
I know. So this is what I heard allegedly. I'm gonna use allegedly, so we can all say everything is secured. All right, David Mulugeta allegedly will advise his client if he got to prove himself under a franchise tag. He's going to tell his client that knee you got is hurting, right? That knee you got, you can't really push off of your releases. That knee problem that you got, you can't put weight on it. That's what he's going to do the entire season and still get that $28 million guarantee money because that's what his agent is going to advise him. Because what he don't want to happen, what he don't want to happen is that his guy catch a ball across the middle hook and he get plastered and he can never play again, right? So he's going to want more than $28 million because of the simple fact that his agent is just like that. You know what I'm saying? He ain't playing around with you. So let me ask you a question. Go ahead.
JSN is at $40 million.
Right.
What is the market for Pickens? I believe that we have to stop saying we got the next man up. We got to get rid of that logic, because if we don't get rid of that logic, we're gonna be in a position right now. These NFL players are gonna find themselves being an all-star player on the outside league because don't nobody want to pay them $39 million to $45 million to play receiver. Because the next man up that's for a receiver, people got to understand that Pickens is 24 years old. CeeDee Lamb 25.
Right. Yeah. The
CeeDee Lamb coming up on a new deal next year.
The thing is, the reason why JSN contract is unique because that discount rate is because he was still under contract, so it's an extension. He was already with the Seattle Seahawks, right? So that's the reason why. Unfortunately, whoever gets the biggest deal, all of the agents is fighting for their players to get somewhere close to that said deal. Now, by it being that the last notable deal that had the kind of caliber of numbers that GP had was pretty much CD, but that deal is 3 years old, right? So it's just how anything. If the floor is going to be where CD is getting paid, right? The guaranteed money is where it's at, unfortunately. But hold on, I got a super chat too, cool. Hold tight for me. Got a super chat from CeeLos.
At CeeLos 2136, $19.99. Law, can we get a petition for you to be at a presser to ask the real questions? We know they scared of you, but it'd put money towards Cowboys credentials law. ECL fire.
Man, appreciate it, man. We working on that, by the way. Appreciate you for that super chat. But too cool, what you got for me again? You back too cool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I just hate the whole restructure the market. I think with something like this, I think this is a unique situation to be in right now. I think this situation is more unique than Chase and old boy Higgins out there in Cincinnati. I damn not believe you almost got to set both of their asses down, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, and find a happy medium with how do you keep both of them on this team? Because at this point right now, you have to go in here saying, how do you keep, because they both under 26 years old. Because CeeDee Lamb is up next year for a deal, because that deal was 3 years ago and he's up next year for a deal.
Right.
How do the Cowboys look going forward if we sign both of these receivers? It has to be the game plan right now.
You know how you do that? Believe it or not, the conversation. If Jerry haven't hollered at David Mulugeta and David Mulugeta haven't hollered at Jerry, so all of this, or Stephen Jones, so all of this is just basically speculations, right? Until they actually have a sit-down conversation. I know for sure that David Mulugeta, he got nothing to lose but everything to gain in this situation, you know. The only way that we can probably move differently if GP look at David Mulugeta and say, hey, I'm going to represent myself, you know, and I'm going to go ahead and get my own deal. I don't need your representation. That's the only way, because regardless of it, whether it's Todd France, David Mulugeta, or David Canters, they all took Jerry Jones to the woodshed, or Stephen Jones to the woodshed. Everybody wins on their contract versus Jerry, not just David Mulugeta. So that's the problem. And that's a big risk too. That's a big risk.
I think he gets signed. I think Pickens gets signed. I just disagree with individuals saying that they messing up the man name and or the market for him, or they holding themselves out. Like I said, I believe colluding goes on in the NFL. Yeah. So I believe that I don't believe that. I believe that Stephen Jones is telling the truth. There is no market for. So if they move on for George Pickens this summer and they get a 3rd-round pick or a 2nd-round pick, no one can be like, why they didn't trade him during the draft? Because now the Cowboys beat you to the punch to say there's no market for him right now. We had to move off him for a 2nd-round pick right now.
Right.
So
and
if that happens, then it happens.
I agree. I agree with you on that. That's why it's better to leave everything unsaid, right? And then if Stephen Jones didn't open his mouth right about that, then we won't even be talking about this. Guess what? That's what 31 other teams do. They don't talk. See, we the talking boys. We the talking boys.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. They did not open their mouth.
No, he was just on the radio. He said that there have been no calls for George Pickens. Huh? I said he was just on the radio. He just said it. No one have called seeking a trade option for George Pickens. That should be information kept to themselves. They don't have to say that. But this is the Cowboys. You get what I'm saying? But man, you in a bad traffic area, man. In closing.
Hey, in closing, man, I was gonna say, man, you gotta look at Falk, man. I know a lot of us looking at Falk I think his ceiling is Myles Garrett. People got to go back and look at his tape, and then they got to look at the team he was around, like you always say. With Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles and Downs, based off and McDonald's, based off the individual they had around them, they can perform the way they perform. Falk don't have nobody on that team with him on Auburn that's going in the top 15 or top 50 right now besides himself. So with him being 20 years old, he's 20 years old right now. That means 3 years ago that man was 17, so he's 20 years old right now. He's 6'6", 285, man. That might not be a bad pickup.
Hey, man, I feel you, man. Appreciate it, too cool. Let me hear you say it, fam.
How about them Cowboys?
How about him, man? That's my guy, too cool, man. Yeah, man. All right, so what I'm trying to get at is the Cowboys talk too wise, right? They talk too much. That information, no one is picking up the phone and calling for George Pickens. That's information that they could keep for themselves. What? The reason why is because it don't taint George Pickens. Look, the whole key to this thing is that you give me a little, I give you a little, right? We work with each other, not against each other. And by you saying, hey, man, ain't nobody even calling, meaning that, do you have the tender too high, 2 first-round draft picks? Now, that is a good situation, whereas you value Pickens in that light. But now it's more so that the longer that option is available, that's like putting a house on the market and ain't nobody calling. And after so many days on the market, that value got to drop. So it's a good thing for the Cowboys, but it tarnished your own guy in that light. I think that would have been better served is that the Cowboys just don't mention anything. Right now, we're still negotiating. There's still things. There's still people reaching out, but we can't talk upon more things about GP. You could have saved that. That's the difference between the Cowboys and the 31 other teams. Their GM, their son, and the owner is not talking, right? We do a lot of talking. We the talking boys. I got from the 214 Darius. You live on the Nation. Talk to me, man.
Well, I hate to call you 2 times in a row, but man, I just really heard some disturbing news, man.
What happened?
And I'm not even talking about 2 I'm talking about what I got there. I heard what you just said in regards to the Cowboys, like if you keep where there's smoke is fire. If you keep hearing a certain player name, then 9 times out of 10, sure enough, that's probably a clear indicator as to who the Cowboys are gonna draft. And you talking about you hearing Keldrick Falk?
Yeah.
Wow, my stomach, I damn near threw up. I damn near threw up.
Yeah.
Wow, why they do it to us every year, bro? Like and like that type of shit be pissing me off.
Yeah.
That'd be the one thing, bro. It's like that'd be what be making me mad every year. Is like we'll have all of these, we'll do all these draft boards and mock drafts, and it's pretty much a consensus as to who are the best players.
Right.
And then the Cowboys fuck around and get some shit like this. They'll do something like this.
Right.
Keldrick Falk.
Yeah.
Luke Schoolmaker.
Yeah.
It's like that's the Mozzie Smith.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Yeah. It's the
Like-
I got to be the smartest guy in the room effect.
Oh my
Right.
God! I
Yeah.
swear I
Yeah.
said that. I swear that's what I call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, they don't draft BPA. They draft smartest man in the room. But no, you're not. No, that's not smart. It's not smart.
Yeah.
Like you out thinking yourself. That's dumb. Don't draft Keldrick, bruh. It's like a top 5 list of like DNs that
Right.
you can draft. Arvell Reese, David Bailey, Akeem Mesador, Ruben Bain, Cassius Howe. Dog, Keldrick Falk is not even on that list.
He's not.
He's not even in the top 5, fam. But personally, Keldrick Falk is a second-round draft pick. Like I watched his tape, I seen him. He's a
Right.
good run stopper, but
Yeah.
when it comes to like in law, you know,
He's like right there with Marshawn Nealon, right? Like I'm not beating up, Keldrick nor Marshawn Nealon. May he rest in peace. And I hate bringing up the kid's name, but that's like I got him kind of like style wise, burst, get off, and I think that Marshawn was a little bit more a quicker, twitchy guy than he was. But I'm gonna read this out once again for people who fail to realize. Year 1, and I know what Tuku said, but he was 18 year 1, and he had 1 sack. In 2024, it's not his fault that the program kind of like helped him out in 2024. He had 7 sacks. Last season, he had 2 sacks, man. Look,
Damn.
he had 2 sacks, man. Like these are the things, and he only had 5 tackles for loss. Like you can't fall on nobody and hit him in the backfield. So out of all of the 12 games you played in, you sacked the quarterback 2 times in that entire 12 games you played in, and you was in the backfield 5 times, right? So that's 7 times. There's people that's in this draft that had 7 tackles for loss in 1 damn game or 2 games. So I just don't want us to get this kid and expect that he come to the NFL, then now he's all of a sudden going to be a Myles Garrett, right? Or to a degree, a guy that can get upfield and be a difference maker. No, he's going to continue that same trend. You know what I'm saying? He ain't going to give you part 3. We did all of this fuss for Keldrick Falk to average 3 to 4 sacks probably on the high end a year. And that's what been our Achilles heel. Like I get the whole notion that this guy, what's his name, Donovan Ezeraku, had all of those tackles for losses and all of this stuff, different system. I get all of that. But when we turn on tape, all we look at with Donovan Ezeraku, if he can get 5 to 10 pounds, right, more on his frame. We see potential side in Donovan Ezeraku because he just need to put some things together. But this Keldrick Falk, you're going to draft the guy in the first round for maybe 3 to 4 sacks on the high end is what he's going to give you. I can't take that.
At all, man. And to me, it's just like, bro, Keldrick Falk is a 2nd round draft pick. He's not worth the 1st round. Like, stop. I get so mad. It's like, bro, who the hell is drafting? Law, can you please tell me who is in the war room making decisions? Who's coming up with this shit? Do you know?
Yeah, man, I don't know, man.
Oh my God,
Willie McClay.
Man, somebody we gotta stop it. You remember them draft them drafts that you be pulling up, the 2024 draft, the 2023 draft.
Right.
Bro, they need to post that shit, and we need to start pointing out, hey, who idea was this?
Yeah, who
this is you?
Who this? Yeah.
Get the fuck out, bro.
Yeah,
No, we're not leaning on you no more. We tired of you. No more picks for you, buddy. You're done. Okay, so that's my first point. I'm so perturbed by that. You hurt my heart when you said that. Please do not waste a first round draft pick on Keldrick Falk. Please do not do that.
Yeah.
Secondly, would you be? I'm also hearing Caleb Downs, that Caleb Downs may fall to us. And I feel like that's probably more so who we gonna get with that first round pick, the 12th one. Would you be opposed to Lorenzo Styles, like pairing Caleb and Lorenzo together? Like, of course, Lorenzo gonna go way further down.
Fourth, maybe if you get lucky, you get him in the fourth. That'll be a steal. Fourth or fifth, especially. I wouldn't burn Lorenzo style with the third because I got a Keontae that I can probably go grab in the third, or to a degree, if D'Angelo is there, oh my God, I'm grabbing those boys over Lorenzo.
That's a steal.
That's a steal. And I know people are going to talk about the size and all of this stuff, but give me that
Don't
playmaker,
matter.
man. It
That's
don't
a
matter.
dog.
Yeah,
That
give me
boy's a
that.
dog.
Give me that. That's the key, that third round draft pick of where we're going to go with far as where we going to go. Where is this linebacker or that other slot corner guy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm thinking maybe like Harold Perkins, but that may be too high for.
Yeah, it's going to be a little rich in the third. Yeah. You can.
Okay.
I've seen him fall to the fifth. Now, just because he fall to the fifth in these type of mock drafts and stuff like that, doesn't mean that that's where he should be at. But what I can say is, in this system, we need a linebacker, inside guy that can roam, and that's what he's supposed to do. We
I'm
need
talking about sideline to sideline. That's a bad boy. That is a bad boy. That boy Harold Perkins. Do yourself a favor. Go check him out if you ain't watched him. But overall, I appreciate you. I just wanted to just kind of get that off my chest because I was highly upset when you said it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna holler at you. I'm gonna holler at you later, love.
No doubt, man. That's my guy, man, Darius, man, and I appreciate him for calling in to the show. And before I go into more details of Keldrick Falk, he don't force fumbles, man. That's another thing. Like, I'm looking at like, you can turn on the highlight tape and you can. Let me say this, man. And I'm going to be real with y'all, man. Regardless of those who say they watch tape or played the game and look at this and that, they made it to college. So there will be some highlights, and I'm not saying just highlight watching, basically. You made it to don't you know how hard it is to get out of high school and to go to college and make said tape, right? You successful. Success is subjective, by the way. So yeah, I can chop up a tape and put a highlight thing together and say, hey, draft him because he can do these type of things. And then when you go from college to the pros, of course, you're going to be good. Of course, there's an opportunity for you to be good because you made it to the NFL. But what we're getting at is just that sometimes people will pull favoritisms and all of this stuff just so that they can say, hey, this is the guy. This is the guy we should go draft. Now, before I go into any further details, last season, Harold had 4 sacks, and he's considered a latter round guy, right? Harold Perkins had 4 sacks last season, 8 tackles for loss, 3 INTs. You get what I'm saying? 1 forced fumble and a forced fumble return, I meant to say, and 26 solo tackles. I know there's 2 different positions, but what we trying to get over here in Cowboys land are guys that can make plays on the football. Harold Perkins is one of them. You put him in the middle of the field. He got dexterity. He had 5 INTs in his career. I like linebackers that can get the ball in their hands. If you're going to go hook to flat, you got to know where the hell you at, right? And Harold can do those type of things. So if you can get him in the 4th or the 5th round, it'd be a plus for us. That's all I'm going to say with Harold. And we definitely need those type of things. And when in 2022 and 2023, he was getting off of the edge guy. He had 7 sacks, and then they used to blitz him in 2023. He had 5.5 sacks. So the guy know how to get to the quarterback. He was hurt in 2024, so he made it back in 2025. So I like Harold Perkins. But I got from the 201, I got $100,000 with the plan, man. You're live on the nation, man.
Man, hopefully that's a smoke screen, Law.
I hope it is.
Hopefully they're throwing that name out there, hoping somebody would jump up there and get that, man. That's what I'm hoping, man.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the Cowboys like to buy low and hope that they get high rewards, man. Come on, man. Just get the sure guy.
You know what it is, $100,000? No, you know what? Sometimes the deal is the deal. Hey, you ever met somebody that always looking for a deal, you know?
Yeah.
They try to look for a discount on this and that. You know, I'm like, man, just look, the car tie is $50, man. You know what I'm saying? That's for what it is. Now, that's the Douglas brand. That's a cheaper brand. You know, you can't get it cheaper than that. You know?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's like people would rather ride around on that spare tire rather than go get the new tire. You go ride it around with it. Well, I can squeeze a couple extra 100 miles out of this spare.
It's a spare.
You know?
It's supposed to be just a spare, you know? Indeed. I met this girl a couple of years ago, man. A couple of years ago. Her idea was she just put fix-a-flat in a tire. You know what I'm saying? I said, fix-a-flat is not, you got to get a new tire, you know? It's not going to work. You keep every other day you putting fix-a-flat in the tire, it's not going to work. It just wanted to here to get you to one spot to the next. Get you a new tire, lady. You know what I'm saying?
And ride that fix-a-flat. That's what it says it does, right? Fix-a-flat, right? Okay,
Fix-a-flat.
I'm going to ride it out.
Car like it's riding in a damn roller coaster, you know, just a bumping. You know what I'm saying? I said, look, I'm going to take you, here's $20 to put towards the new tire, and we're going to put the new tire on. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I'll do it. We got the new tire, now all of a sudden coasting. But some people live by that rule that they only want the temporary fix for a permanent situation. Sometimes you can't get a deal out of everything, you know?
No, you gotta go for the. Jerry wants to win now, so I mean, I don't. That's why I'm thinking that's a smoke screen. You're not getting that guy. You want guys to play now.
Yeah, now.
You want guys that's going to play now. That's why, you know, the Max Crosby thing. He's not going to be able to. People act like we draft him and he's going to be able to play week 1.
That part, yeah.
I'm confused, man, and I ain't throwing no shots at nobody, but you know, I'm just saying, like, he's not gonna be able to play week 1.
Right.
He's not, and you don't know what he's gonna come out to be. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. If anything, I would rather get my man from Cleveland. Get him. At least he's not hurt. He's not injured. Let's go.
Now, hold. But what I'm saying is, if it's an option like Max Crosby or Falk, even with a half,
I'll take Max. I'll take Max.
even a half of
I'll
a
take
knee. I'll wait. Max, you be ready. You be ready. What week? Week 5? Okay, yeah, I'll take you. Give me a half a knee Max versus a full healthy knee Falk.
Yeah,
you know? That's how we got to do this assessment, man. Because you know what it is though. 100 is that. Think about this. Ever since probably we've been looking at draft Cowboy fans been looking at draft since October.
Yeah.
yeah. So we've been looking at the draft since October. You know, somebody can argue September, but we've been looking at the draft since October, and they've been conditioned that these picks, that next year, like these picks will save us, right? Because we've been trash can juice terrible, you know. So what they've been conditioned is that they would love the draft picks juxtaposed to anything that we trade to go get a Myles Garrett. Don't you know people been telling me that Myles Garrett old and he's not going to do the inputs and all of this stuff? I'm like 2 tears in a bucket.
Show me.
Yeah.
He ain't slowed down to me.
He haven't slowed down at all. So they've been conditioned to say, okay, with these 2 first-round draft picks now, we can do X, Y, and Z things, but they've fallen back into the same trap. If we go back to the year 2023, and the same people that say we need these draft picks, they're saying still to this day, we need these draft picks. But you can't get the same people to admit that they were wrong in 2023 about those damn draft picks. You get what I'm saying?
No. Now, granted, now, you know, we get pass rusher, we get a linebacker due to the interior that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Due to the interior that we have, that's going to change a lot of these kids' lives and make it easier for these kids.
Right.
They're not going into when we didn't have an interior. Then it's like, oh boy, you know what I'm saying? So, and I think that could be, if Falk is the pick, look at what we surrounded him with. So that could be like, look what we're surrounding him with.
Oh,
let's go. That could be what they're thinking is. Like, you know, he's not going to get double teamed. He's not just win your one-on-one and let's boogie. That's it. And that could be they're thinking if he is the pick. I hope he's not. But if he is the pick, that could be their thinking.
And that is a flawed thinking though. But I get what you're saying.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say that to justify picking that man. I don't want him.
Yeah,
I don't. And I would rather trade the pick and get my man from Cleveland. I would rather do that.
Right.
Or like you said, if we had the choice, and okay, if we go to the Raiders, look. We got 12. Give us Max. It's the draft. It's the day of. We give you 12 right now.
Yeah.
I'll take Max.
Yeah.
Even though we're going to have to wait on him, I'll take him. If we on the clock and none of our guys is there, and we call the Raiders, hey, man, what's up?
Yeah.
And they say, okay, we'll take 12 for Max, I'll do it.
Yeah. So with that being said, like in closing, I get the notion, and I get what you're saying, basically. Like you put me on the 95 Bulls instead of going and getting a legitimate player, and they say, well, we can just get Law and at least think about this. Look at the surrounding talent that Law will have, right? He should be able to elevate his game. Juxtaposed to going out there and getting somebody that can actually play. That's been the Cowboys' flawed ability too, because I was looking at those draft picks, and I said, what goes wrong with the Cowboys? And I think that what goes wrong with the Cowboys is that they get emotional with these draft picks and they pick players based off of emotions and the storyline versus picking players based off of what they can do. For an example, you know, we can just get Deuce Vaughn. That's a good story, you know, for him to.
He don't have nobody around him. You see what I'm saying? Now they're moving different. Yeah. And I see how they're putting pieces around. Now they didn't do all this before. I'm talking about 2026.
The
2026 version of the Cowboys, I see they're doing things a different
way.
They're putting puzzle pieces in that fit now.
They
didn't do that before.
They didn't do that.
If they did that back, if we had Michael Parsons now, with everybody we got now, we wouldn't be talking Myles Garrett. If we got Myles, we wouldn't be talking that.
Facts.
We'd be like, man, we going to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm saying, if we do get that guy, that could be how they're thinking about it.
Yeah.
So
and that's a better analogy would be, instead of drafting Mozzie, because they drafted Mozzie because they said, think about what Mozzie can do now that he got Osa and you will have Parsons and D-Law and all of this crap, right? instead of just sitting there saying, F that pick, and let's go use that first-round draft pick to get a I guess Jeffrey Simmons or somebody that's a known commodity, right? That can win you games now. But the Cowboys always went with the notion that if we can just draft a player, plug him in, and he can be this guy that can explode into great things, which has been a flawed philosophy because it's a scary one. But appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
No
bro.
doubt, man. No doubt, bro.
Good call from my guy, 100 grand. That was a better analogy versus beating up on Deuce Vaughn, right? It's like we know that it takes time for these guys to develop, especially at defensive tackle. But the Cowboys had to have a flawed thought track that you think that you was going to change this interior defense. And no offense, Jonathan Hankins, he's a good friend and follower of the show. But Amazi and Jonathan Hankins was already on the edge of his career at that time. He wasn't like that dominant enforcer guy that can make things happen. And the inverse to it, I think the 40-winers did the inverse to it. As much as we yell out Mazi is a bust, to me, they went and got Kinlaw, who stayed hurt and who really didn't blossom into anything. But they did the inverse. Instead of just hanging their hat on Javon Kinlaw, they went and got a Javon Hargraves, right? They went and had Armstead. They went and made sure that they solidified the interior. And the difference on how their fan base operate, you never saw their fan base rip apart Bosa, right? And even when Bosa, to a degree, was a one-trick pony, no one never ripped apart Bosa. Bosa, to a degree, ain't really a good run stopper. You run at Bosa, right? And he wasn't a real well-developed all-around talent. But what they did was they made sure that they add more and more pieces, more and more things to identify their particular defense. You had Fred Warner. You had Bosa. They went and got the other guy that was on the Washington team to a degree. They went and got Greg Hardy. They made sure that they continued to replenish that defensive line. While the inverse, the Cowboys, they just stuck with Mazi and never really added the interior help to their program. So those are different ways that you can look into these situations. I got my brother from another mother from the 202, and then DP hold tight. But from the 202, you're live on the nation. Tyrone, talk to me, man.
What's going on, Law?
Not much, man.
Man, who is Falk? I want to ask you, who is that guy, man?
That's him right there. That's him yelling.
Oh my
God.
Yeah, man, like, I know I get the smoke screen. I hope my man was talking. When he said last caller said it made sense. They try to throw smoke screens. I hope they doing that for Pickens too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because we ain't gonna be a mediocre offense if we get rid of that man. I'm gonna just be real. We really need to try to find a way to put Pickens on, keep Pickens on the team. Like, I don't know why I feel like Jerry about to drop the ball with this man, but don't drop the ball with Pickens. But Falk? I don't, man. Falk is the last thing we need to be trying to look at. Man, we need to be looking at
give me Kieron Crawford. That was his other edge rusher, mate. He had a better year than Falk did in the last two seasons. But that's neither here nor there. Keep going.
Yeah. We look at Downs or one of them linebackers or edge rusher, and if we traded one of the first round picks for Crosby or Miles, I'm cool with that.
Right.
I'm cool with that. I'm straight. I don't even care about nothing else if we do that. But man, sign Pickens, please.
Just sign him and be done with it.
Yeah, man.
Look, K, nothing stopped them from getting out there and talking to the media and saying, as billionaires, Pickens will be wearing silver and blue on the start of the side of the helmet. We gonna get him signed. You know, if they boldly say those type of things and confess that they really love this kid and they want him here, he will be here. Yeah. But they always deal with the we haven't talked to the agent. We still negotiating, all that bullshit talk. If you want something bad, you go out there and you profess and say, hey, this is what we doing, and it'll be all said and done. And we just waiting on David Mulugeta. They would have put the pressure back on him, but instead they play coy with us. They kind of hide stuff, and then they say everything that's negative. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, crazy. It's a sad situation, man. Like, only thing we really need to do is just it needs is just small moves, like edge rusher, sign Pickens, get a linebacker. You already got your safeties and corners. Yeah, it's just simple things, and Jerry just make it complicated. He got every real Cowboys fan on edge right now because every team got 2 star wide receivers that they pay probably over the normal amount, and they figured a way out to do it. So it's just like, how, like, come on, Jerry, like, damn, I'm going gray hairs over here, and I'm still in my 30s.
Right. Damn. But don't let that take you down, man. Anything else you got for the show?
Nah, man, I really want to do sign Pickens. That's all. Everything else will fall into place if we keep him on the team. That's really how I ain't even gonna lie. If we keep that man on the team, I really feel like we can go places because we already got this system kind of looking a little better than what it did last year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You're in line.
I mean, yeah. DC for life, man, and keep doing what you're doing, Law. Like I said, I watch you overall. Get them the 3 or 4 letter networks. It's you.
Appreciate
DC for life.
DC for life, man. Yes, indeed. In a sense, when you want something really bad, you're not finna allow it to see anything. So in a way, the value that they have on Pickens, which is smart though, they got 2 first-round draft picks value on him, and they showed the aspect that, hey, we're going to franchise tag you for $28 million. You never seen that amount of money before. So we really want you. But if it's a better deal to come through, then you're gone, right? That's what that says, right? Like if those that's in for those that's in the chat right now, and it's a big boy move to say, hey, we got this offer on the table. If y'all want her, y'all can go get her, right? I'm going to allow my lady to go date whoever she want to date. But these are the prices in order for you to date her, right? And that's exactly what the Cowboys did, right? They allowed George Pickens to go on dates, go on multiple dates. But in order to get the deal done, y'all going to have to give me 2 first-round draft picks, right? And some people are like, well, I want to date, but I don't want to do all of that, You want to take the roof, Chris, plus get a full facial and body massage on my dime? No, y'all can have all of that. But what the Cowboys are saying to GP, well, we allow you to do all of those things. But when you're desperate and you really want, you don't allow nobody to look at the things that you really love, right? You don't allow nobody to touch yours, You be out your mind. That's what they did with Dak. They really like him, but they wasn't really ready to commit to him. So that's why they put the exclusive franchise tag on. Like, yeah, Dak, you exclusively, to us, you ain't finna go and get a chance to have other people to put their hands on you. And I'm quite sure the difference was if Dak would have been able to have this type of deal, they probably would have gave the Cowboys 2 first-round draft picks. Believe it or not, that's what the damn Eagles did with Carson Wentz. It's like, hey, if y'all want him, y'all going to have to give us these things. We allow y'all to touch them. And there's always a sucker when it's for the quarterbacks. That's what birthed them to get all of those damn draft picks with the Jalen Carters of the worlds and AJ and whatever transferred through all of that, right? Where the Cowboys now, they're looking at it like with GP, he only had a Costco sample size, which was last season. It wasn't never warranted 2 first-round draft picks. They just hoping that there's a fool out there that say, you know what, I think that GP can change our franchise. Now, a lot of things can change the day of the draft. You know, a lot of things could change because now it could be a situation whereas if a team ultimately wanted Tate and he's gone, if a team ultimately wanted Jordan, whatever the other kid, the wide receiver, tip of my tongue, I think from Arizona, what's the wide receiver name? Tyson, Jordan Tyson, right? And Micah, if those guys go and team's still looking for a wide receiver that can be an impact for them, maybe they'll pick up the phone and say, damn, Jerry, what do y'all want for GP now? We'll give you this. We'll give you that. But all of this don't have to transpire or over the airways here. I got for the 979, but when I held that 9, all I can see with my mama's eyes. What's good with you, man? What's good with you?
What's going on with you, man? Yeah, man. Man, I had to call in again, man, but I had to speak on some of that stuff that's going on there, man. Like, it amazes me that how people up here are saying that they wouldn't take Max Crosby because he got bad knees. He got bad knees. On that bad knee that he done supposedly had, because somebody was saying that he didn't have like 8 surgeries on his knee, which I have to look into that. I don't believe it's that many. But even on that supposedly 8th surgery, he still put up 10 sacks last season. So, so I'll take them bad knees over a Keldrick Falk or somebody that's done tore their whole ACL up. And Max Crosby hasn't even missed that much time in his career. So, you know, it's just, I don't know, man. I just think that a lot of these people, man, they let these networks convince them and brainwash them into thinking that we shouldn't take those kind of chances because, I don't know, because they're worried about the, I guess, the return of investment, I guess. I don't know. It's like, me personally, I would gladly take a chance on a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett because, again, like I said to you, and one time when I talked to you, if the Cowboys are supposed to be in win now mode,
right?
If Jerry wants to win so bad, then he would do something like that. Now, am I saying that bringing Max or Myles will automatically make them a Super Bowl favorite? No, but it would shock us, and it would be like, okay, Jerry really, he's trying to go for it all, like what the Rams did when they won.
Right.
To me, that's the prime example of going all in. That's what I think of when I see somebody going all in. They got Ramsey, they got Von Miller, traded for Matthew Stafford. They did all of those things. We haven't seen Dallas do any of those kind of things, you know.
Yeah,
Quentin Williams,
and let me say this too, though, for Max Crosby, and I could probably put this on paper. For Keldrick Falk to get probably what Max Crosby did last year alone, right? Let me just read this out. He had 10 sacks. He had 2 forced fumbles. He had a pick, an INT. I can wager that Keldrick Falk, it would take him maybe 4 years to get those results. 4 years, you know what I'm saying? And he just did that last year off of a bun knee, and that's Max Crosby. I'm going to say again, 2 forced fumbles, INT, he had 10 sacks, and over 70 tackles. It'd take Keldrick Falk, it'd take him probably 5 years to get that.
That's what I'm saying, man. The dude is a legit playmaker. Like how many times have you heard of a defensive line getting a pick? You know what I'm saying? Like the dude makes plays, man, but we don't want that here because we worried about giving up too many draft picks. Like that's just crazy to me. That doesn't make any sense, man. Like, and I'm not even trying to sit here and make it seem like I know it all about when it comes to the game of football. I never played the game of football. I tried, but I was too small. But that's neither here nor there. So, but yeah, it's like even I think, man, these fans, man, they're like Jerry in a sense, man. Like they don't want to win, man. They just love the fact that Dallas is always talked about, man. Like we're always in the headlines, man. These cats don't want to win, man, and that's that's what they cool with. Like I said, you got a third of the fan base that believe the crap that come out of these networks and Jerry's faces, man. Like when it comes to somebody like that, or even like I said, I'm talking about like last year with CD. But CD had a bad game. Then what happens? The fans start talking. Oh man, they got to trade CD. They got to trade CD. And then when Pickens has a bad game, oh man, I knew we shouldn't have brought him in. Like, bro, y'all are just weird, man. Y'all are some flat out weirdos to me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But I don't want to keep babbling on, man. Appreciate you giving me a chance to speak. And just one last thing, and I'll land the plane. About the whole Pickens thing. Again, like we talked about yesterday, this is what happens when you bet against your own players. You end up having to pay more than what you will. Now, if Jerry would stop doing that, hey, maybe we would get somewhere. But no, that's not how they do business. They bet against their own players, and then they end up paying for it.
Yeah.
But as always, appreciate you letting me speak, Law.
No doubt, man. Man, good call from DP, man. Really, really good call from him. And people do what they want to do. People do, write that down. People do what they want to do. You know, I was reading a report, I believe, and I could be off on the numbers, but I'm just going to throw this out here. NASA spends about $50 million a day or a month, something like that. Even if it's a year, people do what they want to do. Artemis, man, no matter what site you go on, they talking about a damn rocket that they done sent out here, out in space to fly around the moon, not land on it. They couldn't do a FaceTime. They couldn't do, with all of this technology, they couldn't do at least a pre-record so we can see instead of chop ups and clips. So you mean to tell me you spend all of that money, billions of dollars, to just fly around the moon, man? You didn't land nothing on it. You didn't put no logo. You didn't put no chemtrails up there. So you spend all of that money and got everybody talking about, hey, man, these guys, it's real. It's real. If it's real, fake, or indifferent, what's the whole point of flying around the moon? It's just a distraction. That's in my opinion, It's taking us away from what we really need. You got people that's died in the United States because they don't have food. You got taxes all at its all-time high. Gas is out the roof, and you're going to take a mission of a few actors or whoever they may be to fly around the moon. And look, that don't make no sense to me, right? That money and resources could go help out these doggone communities, man, that I've seen people just falling all over like Family Guy. People are hungry. People are starving in the United States. And they going to just take a mission to fly around the moon? That don't make any sense. We got all of this money for wars. Poverty is at its all-time high. And you want to fly a missile around the moon? And then the little thing come down. They said it got up to 5,000 degrees, Law. And the little rocket ship comes down. And it lands in the water with no splash, no steam. I said, man, I need to have that type of metal that can endure 5,000 degrees with people in it, and they land in the water, and the water don't even steam. I need that type of technology, cool to the touch. But let this next caller on before the grades come get me, man. 334, you're live on the Nation, man. Talk to me, man. 334, you're live. They didn't come get you, didn't they? The Tartarians? All right, man. Yo, man, what's good with you, man? You're live.
Hey, what's going on, Law?
What's good with you, man? What you got for the show today?
I just got a question for you. If you was the owner of a football franchise team, and you had a choice to go with either Larry Fitzgerald or George Pickens, it's just my honest opinion. I was just trying to see which player you would pick.
If I had to go with prime, Larry Fitzgerald or George Pickens, is that what you said?
Yes. That's
oh man, in a crackhead, cocaine, heartbeat, I'm taking Larry Fitz, man. You can just barely look. He put up all of those numbers with no quarterback. He catches everything, man. Short area releases off of his point. Fitzgerald was Timothy. You know what I'm saying? So I would take Fitzgerald real quickly if that's the case in the scenario in a prime.
Okay, yeah, that does make sense. Another question too. You know when we had the game with the Philadelphia Eagles last year, it was Jalen Carter was going at it with Tyler Booker, and Dak Prescott stepped in, and Jalen Carter spit on him. What would you have had did in that situation, Law?
If Jalen Carter,
another grown man just spit on you.
Oh man, I won't keep my composure as much as Dak. I would have been swinging. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's disrespectful. That's just a man law, man. You just don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't do that. You know.
Yeah, that was a great composure move. I think that's why Jared really said that Dak is really indispensable, because the way that his character shows, and because I got to be honest, man, I probably would have crashed out, Law.
On
national TV. But that's about it, Law. I just hope that we go in this draft really, Law, and just go BPA like you've been preaching, best player available.
BPA.
Law. That's all I hope for real. But Jared. One thing about Jared, Jared gonna, pick whatever play he feels like, is whatever he needs, whatever the best player he needs at that right pick. That's what he gonna do. So that's how I feel. That's so.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's about it, Law. I know I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No doubt, man.
Yeah, but I think we're going to do good this year, though, Law. I just want to be optimistic, be positive. We just need to tighten the defense up.
Man,
just got to tighten the defense up. But that's about it, Law. Just have a great day, Law.
You as well, man. I thank you for calling in, man. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Okay. No doubt. My guy, he got me a little bit with Larry Fitzgerald. And yes, Kurt Warner only played, 4 years with Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald been in the league for 17 years, And I get it. If anybody in the chat like GP apologists and they saying, man, GP is better than Fitzgerald, y'all can have that argument. I'm just saying what I would do, And Kurt Warner, I'm gonna be safe when I say this. I'm gonna be very. Kurt Warner is a good bad quarterback. He's a good bad / quarterback. The times that he did do things is when he had things available for him. The 2 wide receivers, y'all remember him, the greatest show on turf. Y'all, what's the wide receivers? He had Isaac Bruce and all of them boys. He had 2 good wide receivers. The time that he went to Arizona, he had 2 good wide receivers when he made some movements. But outside of that, he was cheeks, man. Shit, he couldn't beat out Eli. Y'all remember that? He was with the Giants. He could beat out Eli. So I'm just saying with Kurt Warner, you had to have things in order for him to go too. But Kurt Warner, I'm still pissed off at Kurt Warner because of that damn Steelers Super Bowl. I mean, he threw it right to the guy, pick 6 the other way. I'm sitting there like, Kurt, throw the ball away. Kurt, I can't stand the Steelers. And I was sitting there like, come on, Arizona, do me one good favor. Kurt Warner literally stared down the dude and threw it right to him. I'm sitting like, man, how much Prize Picks paid you for that? You know, good leave. Kurt Warner, when he didn't have weapons, he turned into Stephen Warner, you know. Jeez. I mean, I'm a better quarterback than Kurt Warner without them damn weapons. The only time he really shined is when he had those two studs, Larry Fitz and the other guy, I forgot the name, tip of my tongue. Damn it, Boulder, Anquan and them. Yeah, pick 6 to end the half. Hell yeah. Kurt Warner, boy, he made me mad as all get out. Yes, indeed. Couldn't find the field when he was with the damn Giants, though. I'm going to get somebody to say, well, Kurt Warner better than Dak. I get all of that. I get all of that, too. But Kurt Warner better than Tony. I get all of that, too. Bolden is his name. Torrey Holden. And Anquan, he had some weapons. That's when he was good. Kurt Warner was only good when you had run game and them damn weapons in a decent defense. If you take away run game, that damn quick throw, play action stuff don't work. You know, he had to have the two. He had to have the two. All right, so I got Glenn out of Philly from the 215. You're live, man. Talk to me, man.
What's up, Law? How you doing, my man? Long time no talk, no hear, no see. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. I know you over there in Eagles land. How everything going on over there? They still hurt?
They hurt. They bums. These bums. They trying to save face. They trying to act like everything gonna be all right, but they hurt. Just like my man. I'm hurt.
I'm hurt, man.
I'm hurt. Yeah, I got to deal with them every day, but they quiet. They very quiet. You got a few that trying to, like I said, save face, but they very quiet. A lot of crickets in Philly right now. A lot of crickets. But you can't be too mad at the. I grew up in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't stand the Steelers.
Oh my
but
God.
O'Donnell threw 2 straight interceptions to Larry Brown, so you can't be too mad.
Man, but I remember that Super Bowl because I got an uncle, man, that's very, very much so a Steelers guy, you know, and you know how that went that year, you know.
Yeah.
We're still holding on 5, and they trumped us with that one.
I wasn't too mad because Tomlin and James Harrison, I actually like their culture. I respect the franchise and the culture. I couldn't stand how they whipped us in the 70s. But you got to respect what they've done throughout all these years. So I wasn't all that mad. But on the other side, like I said, O'Donnell threw 2 straight interceptions
he
to
threw
Larry
it
Brown.
straight to Larry.
And you ain't never heard Larry Brown's name again after that.
Larry went to the Raiders to disappear, didn't he? I bumped into him a couple years back, man. Larry Brown, he knows it. He
got the gift of life. He's like Hollywood Henderson, 2 lottery tickets.
2
lottery tickets. Come on.
Is it whatever you do, just don't throw it to the other side where that prime is at. Jeez.
Yeah, man. But listen.
And then Prime, low key, he wasn't having a good game.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't. They were so afraid of him. They said, "Let's go to this side."
and that's where I'm at now with like some of these veteran elite guys like a Myles Garrett. People still gonna have say what you want. They gonna still stay up all night saying, "Hey, this guy had 23 sacks last season."
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Exactly. But man, our franchise, we're the dumbest. We love to hear ourselves talk. Why would he say what he said about no phone call? It makes no sense. They're just stupid. They outsmart themselves or outdumb themselves. They're not really that smart. Jerry's an oil man. He knows how to win the deal in oil. He don't know how to win no deal with the in the football world. Right. They're just dumb. And Shoddy, he even take the blame. I was pissed at Shoddy last season when he went out there and said Javante's our bell cow. He's our bell. Why are you telling the world that they don't need to watch tape on no one else? It's like when he made that statement in, I think week 4, he's our bell cow. Right. I said right there, here comes DeMarco Murray. They're gonna run this ball into the ground.
Facts.
You're playing games. You had RB2 on the couch at Malik Davis. Why are you going through all this smoke and mirrors when your RB2 was sitting home on the couch the entire season?
Yeah.
Blue scared of his own shadow. The best run he had, I think, in that Denver game, he kind of like stumbled into a long run. He hit the edge, and he was scared to hit the hole, but something happened. He kind of got bounced out, and then he started moving. He is so afraid to get hit. He doesn't hit the hole. He can't block. All this blue. You have Malik Davis, a proven vet right there. So it's all these smoke and mirrors that they go through every year. I'm not going to get my blood pressure up. It's so frustrating. But you talk too much. Shut up.
And let me translate for the people. If I draw a beautiful picture, right, and I put it on display for sale, and no one is calling for it, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna create the damn demand for it and say, man, I'm getting multiple people calling for me, man, calling for this art. Hey, you better try to get it now before the price goes up, man. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what they used to do in the hip hop world. Back in the day, they had a thing called the box, where you could call in your video and they would show you the video. You call in what video you want to see, and they'll play that video. It's called the box.
Right.
Well, the own artist will call in. We'll get the whole hood to call in and put that code in.
Put that code in, man. Sure, hype me up. Now, the way that they doing it now, is always a coy situation. Like the coy of it is that they being coy with it is because they trying to drive down the price or the asking price. That's really like we can read through the bullshit because we know for sure that's a shot at David Mulugeta. We know that,
and that's what and that's what I was about to say. By doing that, you're upsetting your player and you're throwing ish on David. Like, why do you have to get so? Once again, it's this personal crap.
Yeah.
And I knew this was going to happen. Everybody's like, oh no, Mulugeta, they're not going to do that. No, yes they are. They're going to do whatever. That man, Jerry, does not want a man of color, and let's just be straight up, a black man, to get the best out of him. I don't care if he's not the direct agent that's working with George, if he's just in the agency. At the end of the day, is David.
Yeah.
And Jerry is going to do his best to win this deal too. And it's horrible. You're throwing ish on your own player. Now he comes in with an attitude because he's not making the money that he thought he would make, that he earned. And now you're throwing ish on another agent. And all that's going to do is these young boys that get drafted and sitting on the couch and praising the Lord and hugging their mom, sooner or later, when they say you're going to the Dallas Cowboys, you're going to start seeing these players like, oh, damn.
Yep.
Here we go. Why am I going there? See, they get caught up on draft day.
And Glenn, I didn't want to say this like that, but I'm gonna say it that we know. Let's start over with a clean sheet of paper on this for our counterparts. There are colluding in the NFL. Exhibit A, the guy Kaepernick, right? They colluded against him from going to another team and stuff. Now, what the bird told me is that basically other owners are pissed off at David Mulugeta, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? So they said, okay, how can we stick it to him to showcase that hey, at the end of the day, we are the ones in control, And the way that we do that is that we set the example. And there's a lot of collusions and all of that stuff with the NFL on a lot of things that a lot of people are afraid to talk about on those networks because they can lose sponsorships or rights to certain things. But damn it, it's just me and you having a conversation, and somehow people are listening. And I don't give a dog who are, but at this point, we know it, So
we know it.
We know how this thing goes.
But check this out. Guess who else who have been dealing with this for a minute?
Yeah.
In another league, Rich Paul. You talking about teams and other agents and owners that don't want somebody in their ring? Rich Paul has been dealing with this for years.
Facts.
So it's nothing new. They don't want Rich Paul to be an agent. They never wanted him to be an agent. They tried to do everything they could to prevent him from being an agent. So we know. We know. It ain't nothing new. It ain't nothing new. But you such a bozo clown director, Barnum and Belly Jones, that you fall for the sucker stuff because you're just a sucker. And I'm sorry if this affects you, Law, but he's a sucker. And it affects us. It affects us who really love and appreciate this game and appreciate the players and the team and the star of what it stood for.
What's your point?
You know what my point is, you bum.
That's Glenn. His thoughts are independent of his own. You know what I'm saying? Jerry, I love you, Jerry. Jerry, you the precious.
On my last nerve. My last. I had to go to the old stadium. I've been to the old stadium 3 times, the new stadium 4 times. My hard-earned money coming from Philly. Yeah, now, that's my point, you bubblehead. But anyway, man, yo, keep doing what you're doing. All praises. We love what you do. Can't wait for the season to start, so my pressure can go up a little bit more. I'm down to 5%. I'm at a 5 milligram on my blood pressure from 10.
Lord.
Years I was on 10. I went down to 5. I said, Doc, why am I still doing 10? Let me do 5. He said, let's see what works. I'm good at 5. Football season come, I don't know what's going to happen. But, yo, be good, my man. Stay safe.
No doubt, man. It's Glenn out of Philly.
Goodbye.
He was the last caller, man. Yes, indeed. Jerry, Law Nation love you, man. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I love you, bro. You know, you, Steven, Gene Jones, Charlotte, Junior, Jerry, and the outside kids, too. I love them all, man. Shoot. Hey, at the end of the day, I'm Law Nation Jones, man. So great call by you, Glenn, out of Philly, for putting them daggers at Jerry and them. But I live in Dallas, so I'm gonna make sure I'm not Law out of Philly. I'm Law out of Dallas, so I'm gonna make sure I can walk around here and nobody go make me disappear and anything of that nature. Todd France, Dak, and Aaron Donald, agent. Yeah, he lacks melanin. Yeah, Todd France, a whole bunch of other guys, man, that take Jerry to the woodshed. And it's not about all the way because David Mulugeta is of the melanated community, but what it is that he got motion. When you got motion, you got to slow that motion down, man. When you got power is better. To some people, power is more than money. To control a situation is more than money. Influences, to a degree, is more than money, you know. Put 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me correctly. Put 1 in the chat. Because once you get to a certain level of things, everything else comes free. Everything else comes free. Michael Jeffrey Jordan can walk into a car dealership, a little mom and pop car dealership, and they don't give a dog about his money. They love his presence. His presence is more powerful than his money. They will let him drive off the lot for free. That's what power and influences can do. He don't have to pay for it like the common man, right? You know, so people, when I said put 1 in the chat, that's influences, right? That's what influence. That's more than money, right? There are certain people that can make certain phone calls, but when you are outside of that protective ring, right? And if you didn't pay your dues, then the Tiger Woods thing happened. Don't y'all know how much money that you got to make to go on a private golf course? What do people do when they play golf? They drink, they smoke, they do a whole bunch of things. But when you are outside, even when you do have the money, you will be considered a common folk and they'll arrest you. You get what I'm saying? So that's just for what it is. Power is more than money. Influences is more than money. Money is just a byproduct. You know, money is almost feminine. How do you say that? Energy. You know what I'm saying? Money is not masculine energy. You get what I'm saying? You tell money what to do. Money don't tell you what to do. But once you get to that power and influence things, shoot. Jerry could walk around all through Dallas and won't have to reach in his pocket to go get a hamburger and some cheese fries. So you get what I'm saying? Because he got the ultimate influence in the city of Dallas or the state of Texas, right? So when these guys get these billions of dollars, they want to be able to control a situation. When my guy, Malcolm X, and they all stood with guns in the street, and he did like this and told everybody, let's go this way. And about 50 folks that he walked in that street all stood, salute, and turned their way and walked away. They said, man, that brother right there got too much power. Jeez. You know, he got too much influences. And he know the rules. Yeah, open carry. He playing the rules on us, you know. Now we got to change up some stuff, man. Joseph Warren says, all money is not good money, from Denzel Washington. Yeah. All money ain't good money. Yeah. David Mulugeta from JVBB boy, my guy. He states here, David Mulugeta has been trying to meet with Joneses to get a deal done, which is on record. Some people have missed that part of the equation. Yeah. When you are a conqueror, when you trying to control the situation, most of us would never be as big as a horse. I'm from the country, so I'm going to use a horse as an analogy. And when you ride on that horse, one of the things that you ultimately want to know, even if you are in control of said horse, is he gilded? If that horse is not gilded, and y'all can look that up, you know, if you can, you can be on that horse back and riding. Yeah, get on by the horse. Get up there, Tommy. Yeah. But that horse, if he smell that other female horse, ooh, he get the bucket, and if he's not broken, I've seen a horse run through a barbed wire to get him a little bit. And he don't give a dog who's on his back. So in order for you to control that fact, you got to cut him off. And you got to control him from there, because now his mind is only fixated on the owner. We would never be as big as horses, right? Or as strong and as fast as them. But we know how to control them. Snip them. That's what they trying to do with David. Yeah, they trying to snip the brother. You know, he got too much power. You know, and then he flexing. Oh, he ain't being nice with it. If you go to Athletes First, you know, and you see David talking about he made $1 billion. Come on, man. Let me see if I can pull it up. $1 billion. Let me see if I can find that article. Yeah. Oh, man, I ain't finna pay for this. Hold on. They want me to pay for the Washington Post. Hold on. Well, somebody out here got a post somewhere. Yeah. When you say, ooh, let me pull this up. When you see stuff like this, people like, oh, okay, all right. Oh. Forbes 2025. Congratulations on David Mulugeta, who's ranked top in the NFL agents on Forbes list. 2025 ranking most powerful sports agency. In 2025, banner for David Mulugeta negotiated over $1 billion in player contracts. First time in NFL agent history, agent had to negotiate more than landmarks amongst all of the single season signings. Shoo. They don't like that. That's too much power, man. We're gonna have to stop that.
That Love is getting a 4-year, $220 million deal with Green Bay.
There's a new highest paid cornerback in the league, and his name is Jalen Ramsey.
J.C. Horn, 4-year, $100 million deal, $25 million per year.
Derek Stingley Jr. of the Houston Texans signed for $30 million a year. Antoine Winfield Jr. is now the highest paid safety.
Justin Fields on a 2-year, $40 million deal that includes $30 million guaranteed.
Calvin Ridley is headed to Tennessee on a 4-year deal worth $92 million.
Xavier McKinney, 4-year deal worth $68 million, $17 million per year.
You are incredible what you do, sir.
I appreciate it.
That's
man.
a talent, a real weapon. You should be proud of yourself.
You're killing it, man. I appreciate you.
That's like greatest negotiator of all time. Yeah. Like actually greatest negotiator of all time.
You know, he fights for the deal. You have some agents out there that just kind of float, but all these deals I've seen come out, the athletes come first.
That Love is getting.
Man, come on, man. So we can wish and say, hey, GP, we know you had a phenomenal year, but any way that you could just take $33 million? Hell no. Hey. Ain't happening, Captain. It's like every time you see, like the whole thing with the vegan community, there's nothing wrong with veganism and vegetarians and all of this stuff. Because vegetables have life, they're living organisms too, right? You shouldn't be killing the poor animals for food and all of this stuff. And how you do the poor pig like that will let you be starving. I love to see some vegans and some vegetarians. Let them be starving, better touching their back. And they in the wilderness and they got a pig there and some grass, right? Shoot. They talk about all of that, hey, don't eat swine now. Shoot, you better pray over that food. You better kill it and pray over that food. But what people try to do is change people's minds. If you're going to be a vegan, you just be a vegan. If you want to be a vegetarian, you be a vegetarian. I'm a selectarian. I'm going to eat what I need to eat to survive, right? And pray about it. See, that's what people do. We have become so smart of our own selves that people stop praying over their food, regardless of good, bad, or indifferent. Pray over it. But what people tend to do is they will see that lion and they tell that lion, hey, lion, can you just eat grass? That lion looking around like, man, what you talking about? I eat the meat, pause if necessary. David Mulugeta is not a vegetarian. He's a lion. He eats the meat, pause if necessary. And that is for what it is. You can't go in and change people's diets and how they do things when it's beneficial to them, when it's been working. Now, if GP don't want to deal with this type of situation, then don't hire a damn lion. Go hire you a kangaroo, and they can fight too, a Giselle or something, a gazelle, I meant to say. So go hire one of them things. But Cowboy fans, we got to stop expecting David Mulugeta to go vegetarian on us. Shoot. And I was a vegan for a couple of days, but I like cheese. You know what I'm saying? Kyle Pitts just signed a $15+ million tag. I don't even know the tight end get paid that much. Yeah. And he's good, Eat the meat, anime. Yes, indeed. And that's just my thoughts on it. But shout out to everybody, man, for tuning in for this show. I thank y'all so much for all that you guys do. Shout out to Common Sense Lab. Thank you for sharing. If you guys can do me a huge favor, hit that share button. Let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and Beyond. There's a link an arrow button. If you take that, plug it into your communities, sharing is caring. There's also a thumbs up button or even a thumbs down button. Either or. Interactions is interactions. Just click that interactions for me. If you guys can comment once the video has been posted, that keeps the algorithm going. On top of that, what else I got to tell y'all? Let's go, man. Let's continue to find ways. Oh, Hyper Brother Up, HBU, me too. It's Hyper Brother Up, and we're going to continue to give you guys the real, raw, and uncut. Now, if my ways of talking have offended anyone, just charge it to my beard, not my heart. Y'all know what I'm telling y'all, coming from the heart, of all of these reasonings here. Let's continue to find ways to grow, and let's continue to speak the truth, man, because if not, you can't get it anywhere else. Somebody going live 2-3 hours talking. Airborne, I'm going to try to read as much comments it is before it dies away. Q&A session. We can do Q&A session before I go, and ask me anything in the comment box, and we'll get things going from there. Let me see what I got here. It's been a minute, so yeah, I'm going to read this. Airborne states, let's not forget 1 second, the NFL owners can't put you into Mulageta's ring by isolating him, not being willing to work with players represented by him. So in other words, you're saying that they can't isolate David Mulageta. You're right. Here, by me being out in this space now, what David has done, and let me pull up this again, what David has done. And it's not to
a 4-year, 200.
It's not a bad thing. Because now, I was talking to some of the city councils, even here in DeSoto, and as well as Mansfield, and some of the elected officials and stuff like that that's dealing with high schoolers getting NIL stuff or NIL agreements and stuff like that before they get an opportunity to sign with college teams. What's happening now is that there's an explosion of wealth and money that's occurred, it's going to accumulate to the disenfranchised, to the lower ends of things. Remember back in the days, just getting to the pros was a way that you can get out of the hood, right? What now is happening is that your likeness, your ability to earn 6 figures, you can do that now, leveraging NILs, sponsorship agreements, and stuff like that. So now what people is realizing and understanding is that you can make money. Why even take a discount to go to the pros when you can be a 5-year senior and make 6 figures in college, right? And on top of that, leverage that with brand deals and beyond. So what's happening now is that these agents and agencies are already penetrating the market by hitting these young folks up early. And the disadvantages that Todd France and a few other guys have is that they don't have the tap-in ability like the culture that David Mulageta got. David Mulageta know how to prospect these kids in middle school and high school. Their agency is already on that, like white on rice. So by the time that they get up out of here, the influence power of a Jalen Ramsey, the influence power of a Kyle Pitts, Michael Parsons, when they do these meet and greets, it's at its all-time height. You can't compete against that. Those other counterparts, they can't compete against that because they archaic. They are old at their delivery, right? So it's like grooming almost to a point, right? So by the time they get out of college, they're already hitting up the athletes first and David Mulageta tape. And they are signing 6- and 7-figure contracts, and that's how it's going to go. So the NFL, by them being slow to this, and not new to this are at least 5 to 7 years behind. So David is on a pathway by himself. He's going to pass up all of these other agencies because he is pretty much, he's him. And that's just for what it is. This is a time of a life cycle that if Jerry Jones can't resolve the issues that they have with each other, it's going to be more of this. David is not going anywhere. It's going to be hard to silence somebody that's already got momentum. They already got motion. They already got control in the pulse of the community. No offense. I know Todd Francis worked with Athlete First too, but no offense to him. And no offense to these other agencies. They just can't. They can't go in those rooms. You know what I'm saying? They can't go into those spots where these guys are going to be at because they don't know how to tap into the culture. Unfortunately, so unfortunately, he's here to stay and he's going to be here getting more and more deals. And if not, it is for what it is. I will get up and lie to the media and Jerry for $2 million. Yeah. Shout out to you, Bama boys. Allow you the man. Taking the money out of all. Yeah. It's just a new way to approach this. And the whole thing is the old school goal was make it to the NFL by my mama's house. The new school goal is, man, make it to my senior year by my mama's house. That's just for what it is. Justin says, and the Flex is having that if I'm not mistaken, Flex is sponsoring the football camp. Yeah, Justin says George Pickens is going to have a football camp where he's living at. Yeah. Appreciate that. Yeah, and Airborne says, I'm just saying the NFL owners could try to flex on him by trying to humble him by claiming that they have no real power, just like they did Shador. We're going to shut this dude up kind of thing. Yes, it was colluding. It was colluding against Shador. They didn't like the way he walked into this particular situation. They didn't like the flashing of the watch and stuff. It's just for what it is. Unfortunately, they wanted to humble the kid, and they sent him over there to Cleveland. Come on, Eric. Come on, where that money at, man? Come on, boy. You caught me at the Q&A time, or you get here at the right time. Come on, Eric. Take that money out where I'm at, Take the money out, Eric. Come on. I know you got a few dollars in the couch. You know what I'm saying?
Take the money out. All of it. Come on. You're wasting my time now. Come on. Come on.
He said that teams are going to have problems against the Eagles this season that y'all, our wide receiver, have now. Plus, how we said that AJ is an Eagle during yesterday's Eagle press conference. Yeah, Mona Lisa was a man. So, I mean, at this point, AJ Brown, if y'all was smart, and I'm not giving advice to the Eagles, y'all move on. I think that this would be the year that if you guys don't move on from AJ Brown, that you're going to see some crazy stuff going on with the quarterback and the whole chemistry that you guys try to have over there, right? And I'm expecting a drop-off on the defense. I'm expecting the Eagles to probably finish out in this division, probably third. Yeah, I ain't going to put y'all skid mark dead last, but y'all probably finish out third. Cowboys win in the division this year. We are. Yes, indeed, man. Come on with it. Cowboy Nation, that's all the time that I have for this beautiful moment. I really appreciate you guys. Y'all can continue to put the Q&As out there. But as we depart, ladies and gentlemen, from my studios to yours, let's figure out ways to continue to excel. Let's figure out ways to continue to grind, to shine, and get things moving and grooving in the best way possible. Shout out to you, Jeremy Betts. Appreciate you. Man, I will make the decision myself I would have a lawyer to look over my languages and verbiages. If the deal is what I want, I'm where I want to play at, I'm signing. Let me say this, though. In order to be an agent, you got to be licensed. And it's damn near you are a lawyer, basically. A tree is easier to bend when it's young. These players don't receive the amount of money that they're getting until they really get to their second contract. So when you look at that trait and its bendability point, your main thing is to make sure that if you can find a way to monitor that tree, to be there with that tree on its hard times and soft times and difficult times, and build that relationship. So most of these agencies, they build their relationships when they're young. And they know how to influence these young and the youthful players. So if you are an aspiring defensive back, what happens ultimately is that Jalen Ramsey will give you a call. And you're sitting there like, man, I'm on the phone with Jalen Ramsey. If you're an aspiring edge rusher,
at Eric Stewart, $3,167, 19.99.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for your support. If you're an aspiring edge rusher, man, I was on the phone with Michael Parsons just the other day. Influences is better than money. And this is across the league. Access sometimes is better than money. Oh, you like the Chris Brown concert? I'm David Mulugeta, man. We gonna get you in that concert. I just got off the phone with David Mulugeta and Jalen Ramsey and Michael Parsons. They finna take me to the damn concert to see Chris Brown with my Swedes, you know. They start when they are young, you know. They build that trust. They are not playing Dolly Parton, whatever Jerry be doing, you know. They know how to get to the levels of these players when they're at their youth. And that tree is easy to bend when it's young. So that's what we're dealing with, unfortunately. But ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing a man should always do, is mainly to himself stay true. And never allow someone to change your point of view unless what they bring or mean makes sense to you. Never judge a man by sight alone, nor by the height he has grown. And when speaking, please keep it at a moderate tone. Raised voices only turn those hearts into stone. You see, in the beginning, it was brother, I will ride with brother, roll with brothers. Morals of life, live, love, and respect for another. Then there are those who wants to be smart. They would take the decent man to alter his heart, to seek to rip him apart. Those men you should never call a friend, because they bend the lies around the truth to meet their end. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's get it.